Hey, Nick.
Hey, Tys.
What's going on?
Not much.
Not much.
It's warm. It is.
We've got some balmy fucking days in Melbourne.
I like it.
Some like mid to high 20s.
These are the days that I love, especially today where it's cooled off, but it's still not.
Yeah, we
cold.
had some rain, but we had some like sweaty rain. So we're still you're rocking the shorts is what I'm talking about. So
exactly.
I feel you, man.
Exactly.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Nic, Tys and Videotape.
Hey everyone.
What's happening? It's Spook-ISODE. October SPOOK-ISODE.
October SPOOK-ISODE.
Episode number 39.
39.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
fuck yeah.
Kicking along nicely. About to hit a big milestone.
Number 40.
Within three. Also that one.
Oh, right.
But within 3 months, we'll be hitting a big milestone.
Jesus.
We're going to have to do something really special for that.
We are. We're going to have to do. Unless we get a by request, I think we should do it on the list. That's. Oh no, maybe we should do something that's very close to our hearts.
Maybe just be a bit of a love-in, and we'll get some people on to kind of have a chat.
Yeah, that would be nice.
It might be a bit of fun.
I like that.
But because we're like smack bang in the middle of October right now, well, we're kind of on the arse end actually.
We're
on the way
it's
down.
The closing. It's the midway. Yeah,
that makes me sad. But we're doing our October SPOOK-ISODEs. So we're celebrating all things scary horror.
Exactly. Knee deep in horror movies.
Yeah,
are you watching tons, Tys?
I'm watching some. I'm only watching horror movies.
That's
I
good.
just haven't watched as many as I would like to.
That's okay.
Full disclosure, I'm moving house.
You're very busy.
I am like knee deep in in some musical theatre.
Fair deal. It's assignments. It's an end of year assignments.
I'm finishing off my uni assignments. I've got fucking school concerts out of my ass. It's just all happening.
Give credits to Ty, and he edits this motherfucking show.
Yeah, look, I've kind of stopped editing it.
Yeah,
mostly just
you're getting it raw.
Mostly just kind of if we,
that sounds.
If we get something completely incorrect, I try to cut it out because then we sound like fucking idiots.
Which I love.
But other than that, it's just kind of like, nah, fuck it, you'll be right.
Yeah.
But look, I've seen a bunch, but less than I would have liked. I think I would have liked to have smashed out a little bit more. We're 19 days as we film this as we record this into October.
Yep.
And I'd say I'm probably one every 2 days. I think I've watched 8 or 9.
Not bad.
So I'm doing okay. Could do better. Could do much better.
But before we get to what do we watch this week, let's talk some trailers.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking trailers. It was
plentiful.
It was a plentiful bounty of trailers.
We recorded last time. We recorded quite early in the week last week.
We did. We had a bit of a break between recording.
Yeah, I feel like 2 weeks has gone past. Yeah.
It hasn't quite been, but you're not far off.
Almost. Yeah, almost.
And so we mentioned on our last show that yes, there would be obviously a trailer that we'd want to talk about. We didn't realize there would also be 3 or 4 other pretty huge ones that all happened at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
So
didn't realize that at all.
It's been a bit of a fucking yeah.
It's been a catch-up. It's been like
we've been having to play catch-up like crazy. A scramble is correct.
A scramble to try and keep up with what's going on.
And look, so I don't know how we should approach this today. Should we just kind of rattle off some things and say thumbs up, thumbs down, what do you think, good, bad,
I like that.
Fat?
Yeah, let's change it up.
Cool.
I like that.
Well,
I like that
stand by.
All right, then.
So let's just give our very quick thoughts on the
Last Jedi
trailer. Now, Nick, your willpower.
My willpower is very strong, and if, like you said, Tys, like we were talking about Aronofsky and how if he brings out something like a text or something about whatever you're about to watch to accompany what he's made. We love that. So,
yes.
Full disclosure, Ryan Johnson came out. I put it up on the Facebook so that everyone could see. He came out in an interview and said, I think people who don't want to ruin The Last Jedi for themselves shouldn't watch this. Now, with time gone as much as it has, and me listening to the people, I think it's more a ploy for everyone to watch it. Him coming out saying that, I think it was a ploy for everyone to fucking watch it. I think that's what it was.
You reckon?
Because I feel that that
people just couldn't resist?
Yeah.
And they'd be like...
Everyone watched it.
Oh, well,
everyone watched it.
Everyone did watch it.
I didn't.
Nick, you're the only person in the world that I don't think has seen this trailer.
I know! And I have a movie podcast. No. I know I'm going to stick to my guns only because...
Good on you, man.
And I've talked about this with my friend Tys before, and I think I've mentioned it before, I don't like to ruin things. I like to go in fresh. Like back in the day in the 90s and especially in the 80s, you only saw trailers when you went and saw the film. And even then... there were movies that came out that you never saw a trailer for,
Yeah.
that you would see, like, oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
So the major one that sticks in my head is now when they come out with trailer 1, trailer 2, trailer 3. I knew the trailer 3 when I went and saw Iron Man 3. When all of the Iron Men rocked up, you had that in the last trailer. And
That's
imagine not seeing that for the first time.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Look, I did watch it.
Yeah,
I couldn't
tell me
resist.
things.
Look,
Nice.
it didn't. I understand Rian Johnson trying to kind of say, look, you don't need to watch this.
Yeah.
And look, I agree. It's not like these people aren't going to watch this movie. This is the thing that is really interesting about it, is that a Star Wars movie kind of advertises itself.
Yeah.
All you really have to do is put up a picture of the poster and say, this is when it comes out.
Exactly.
And I think people will see it. I'm pretty sure
The line
they'll
will be still around the
fine.
fucking block. Yeah.
It's one of the only franchises, I think, where it's guaranteed fucking ridiculous coin.
Yes, I would say that, yes.
And so, I actually think this trailer is designed well, that it doesn't actually give you really anything.
Yeah.
Like, it just gives you momentary looks at certain things, maybe a little extra second here and there of stuff we've seen from the first trailer.
All right.
But no, we're still not getting a big grasp of any kind of specific story elements.
Oh, right. Okay. That's good.
We're getting a little bit more of an idea of the tone, which looks to be more in line with something like Empire, where it's a bit more, it's a bit darker and a bit more kind of serious.
Team.
We get to, we see a few interactions with some characters. It's nice to see Luke Skywalker saying some dialogue and doing some stuff. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
But
can I have a quick question?
Yeah.
Why does he have the skin off the robotic arm?
Well, that's interesting, I guess.
Is that I want to know?
Maybe it doesn't.
I need to know.
Maybe there's no way to upkeep it on his little island that he's living on. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe it just deteriorates
true.
and it's
Good
like,
point.
fuck, all right, there goes the skin.
There goes the skin.
Yeah.
Now I've just got a robot arm.
It's not like Terminator style where it, it does
Gross.
age.
Yeah.
It ages with him.
Yeah, ages with him.
Maybe. Well, so
I need to know.
Terminator technology is better than Star Wars technology.
Exactly.
Is what we're saying right now.
Even though they've got light speed and all that shit.
Yeah. No.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, look, it's great. I'm so fucking keen for this movie. Don't get me wrong.
Dude,
like,
please.
It's gonna. I am just.
It's all over the shop. It is
just cannot wait.
all over the shop.
But that's all that really needs to be said about it. I think it's going to be fun.
deal.
It's going to be great. It's Star fucking Wars. Let's have a good time and watch
bring it
some
on.
people fucking cut each other up with
Exactly.
lightsabers. So what else we got?
What else did you watch?
Oh, fuck, like so many.
I know.
Did you happen to see How to Talk to Girls at Parties? Did you see the trailer for this one?
I think I did watch that.
This very strange looking
Remind
movie
me-
where Elle Fanning plays an alien that hangs out with some punk rockers and
yes.
decides that she wants to be a human.
Yes,
And
and the
Nicole
reason-
Kidman is
Yeah.
like a weird alien kind of playing dress-ups.
And the reason that this jumped out at me, like I watched it because, when preparing for the podcast, I would try and watch everything.
Yes.
But the reason that this jumped out was because it came up from the director of Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Yes, exactly.
So John Cameron Mitchell.
John
and I was
Cameron
like,
Mitchell's
oh
new
my
film.
fucking God!
Yeah.
Yeah, it was huge.
So big thumbs up on that one. That looks really
Massive.
great. Check
It was
it out.
awesome.
It's the kind of thing that I would have usually scrolled past and
Yeah.
gone, oh, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like the screen cap isn't really...
And the title
doesn't give you
didn't
much.
grab
And it's-
me
The title
all.
sounds like a kind of a teen sex comedy
or a doco.
A doco?
Yeah.
For like losers?
Yeah.
Like
A doco against
like an
no.
edutainment DVD for like real lame kids.
No, a doco against, because of the current political climate that we're in, how to talk properly instead. Do you know what I mean?
Because in the current climate that we have, because men are
of
fucking assholes and we have no
Mr.
idea how to talk to any
being
females.
The dickhead. Yeah, exactly. So in my head, it sounded like a
No, I get you.
doco.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of clicked on it because I was like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, same.
Because every now and then,
rad.
I actually do kind of think, do you know what? If it is a good teen comedy, I'm on board, because teen comedies, I watch the shit ones. Like, I'll pretty much watch most of them. Not all of them. I watch most of them. And then, I was surprised by a really cool trailer. What else we got? Let's keep scrolling up.
Well,
do you want to go next?
we could mention some New Mutants. Or do you want to save that to last?
Well, I'm just going in order.
Is you going
basically.
in order? Oh,
Yeah.
well, I didn't know there was an order. Okay.
Order of release.
Order of release.
But I'm skipping the ones that I don't think we need to talk about.
No, fair deal.
Did you see the trailer for Blockers? By any chance?
No.
Short for Cock Blockers.
Oh, I did watch this.
Yes. John Cena, Leslie Mann, and...
This looks fucking hilarious.
Okay, so look...
Actually, you know what? Let's tim it down a bit. Let's not overreact, Nicholas. This looks mildly funny.
I think you maybe overshot it a little bit
Overshot it way
on that
too
one.
far.
It looks funny. I like the cast. I really like that John Cena is embracing that
I feel he's
side
trying to
of
be
him.
The Rock, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but I think he's got a natural kind of...
Charisma?
So The Rock... is the most charismatic fucking human being in the world.
Dude.
But when he does comedy...
The Rock or John Cena?
The Rock.
The Rock, yep.
I think he doesn't overplay it, but he really digs into it.
Yep.
And if you're not on board with whatever character that is...
That's true. It's
easy to check out a little bit.
Yeah.
It becomes a bit much because he plays like a pantomime version of himself in comedy.
Very true.
I like what John Cena's doing, where he turns up in small roles, like in Sisters, which I thought he was just so fucking funny in.
Or in
plays off the fact that he is just huge and kind of like a big teddy bear.
Or in Trainwreck.
I haven't seen Trainwreck.
I know what you mean.
And so I think he's got this different kind of energy that I think works nicely in comedies.
But he's kind of a bigger role in this
he's
one.
The lead, and I don't know how well it's going to work.
Yeah.
Having said that, I love Leslie Mann.
I love
and
Leslie
she obviously knows comedy. You know, her husband is one of the funniest dudes.
He knows comedy
in the world.
He knows comedy,
and knows how to make a comedy movie. Yet this trailer for me didn't really fly.
But the premise was hilarious.
The premise is hilarious. I'll say that. The premise is really funny. Just to sum it up very quickly, a group of 3 parents who one of their children... they find an iPad.
Yeah.
And because of the way technology works now, every single message that you send on your phone also pops up on your iPad and stuff like that. Which I hate. I don't. I turned all that shit off.
Nice.
I'm not
shows how old we are, people.
I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they discover that their children are going to try and lose their virginity at prom.
It's prom. Yeah. Prom. And they have a sex pact.
That's such a fucking...
That's hilarious. So what they try to do is basically...
Cock block them.
That's
why it's called blockers. They're going to cock block.
So they end up going to the after Deb party. That's hilarious. So in Australia, American listeners, we don't have the prom. We have the debutante ball. But yeah.
That thing.
They go to... do you have the deb at your school that you teach?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have to like chaperone?
No, they'll never ask me. Never in a million years.
Because you're the music teacher, and he's giving out the booze. If anything,
they'd be worried about me spiking drinks and shit, and like trying to get them all fucked up so they actually have a good time.
But yeah, they end up going to the after party and trying to cock block.
It sounds fantastic.
It looks funny.
As a premise,
I'm gonna watch it.
It got a couple of giggles at me, but I feel like the comedy was really broad in this that I saw.
Yeah, fair.
But we'll see how we go. Moving on. The next one I want to talk about is one we just brought up before. So X-Men, The New Mutants.
Good Lord.
This was not what I expected.
I read a little bit about it and how people were saying, it's a bit scary, and then I watched it finally because I don't try to not watch a trailer on my phone when I can help it.
Yes. I did watch it on my phone.
But this is different. This is another beast. This is basically executives sitting around going, okay, so Deadpool did fucking awesome. Let's amp it up a bit.
And let's see, but I think it's clever, though, that they're not just saying, it was the R-ratedness that made Deadpool good.
No.
They're actually saying...
This is a director that has a vision.
It was a choice, like, people want this material, but also in a grown-up environment. Yes. And they want to be able to... They don't want... It doesn't have to be kid-friendly all the time.
Yeah.
People want to go in knowing that it's going to be...
For adults.
Yeah, full on.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor that the next kind of wave of X-Men films are going to be kind of themed like this.
Nice.
We're going to get a horror film. We're going to get like a teen film. We're going to get like a psychological thriller or something. You know, that they're actually trying to angle it that way.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch it, but I heard Legion, the television show, with the character that's Xavier's son, was very like headfuck kind of style stuff.
Okay,
really kind of way away from all the kind of things that Marvel are doing with their TV shows, where it's kind of just sci-fi adventure.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to do much different things. And I actually think that's a great idea.
I think it's a boss idea.
Even if it doesn't work. Like
at least try something
I don't
different.
think anyone can sit there and say Apocalypse is a great movie.
No.
I had a good time with it, but I can respect that it's not a good movie.
And it's been done. And that's the thing.
Yeah. And they acknowledge that, you know what, the current trajectory of this series is not really working.
Yep.
Let's just send a whole bunch of shit out there and see what sticks.
But as a superhero, because it's now, I read an article that a David Fincher interview, and how he's not a fan of a film where it is right now, because trying to get out a serious dramatic piece there's no chance in hell. That's why he looks forward to it. That's why he really ups Netflix, because that's where you're going to get these sorts of things now.
Hey, Mindhunters has been released and I didn't even notice.
Yeah, neither did I.
No idea.
A friend of mine had to tell me. I was like, what? There's something to do with it?
That's what I mean. 10 episodes or whatever of Fincher just sitting there. 10 hours of Fincher just sitting there, and I'm not watching it.
Exactly.
What's going on?
Oh, you're busy, Tys. You got a lot on your plate. But yeah, he goes on to say that, you know, if you're not doing a superhero movie, the studio executives don't want to hear about you.
Well,
and I love what this director is bringing forward. He's bringing forward a superhero movie that has
this is
a genre to
Josh
it.
Boone, who isn't exactly tested. What did he do?
He
that
did
fucking cancer dramedy with the kid.
Pushed off. Fault in Our Stars?
Yeah,
No, I heard it was really good. I actually was looking forward to watching. No,
yeah,
no, you didn't want a bar. It's 50.
I heard it was really good. Source: 16-year-old girls who have read the book.
But you just said you were up for it. Oh, fair deal.
You know what I mean? Like, I from anyone that discusses, like, talks about movies, I heard it was fairly shit.
Oh, really? Oh,
but,
okay.
You know, but that's
from the book. It
I might
could be
like
good.
it. You never know. If you like the book, you liked it. But the book's not made for me.
Fair
and
deal.
so the movie's probably not made for me either.
There
I
you
would
go.
say
Fair deal.
I'm not that target audience. That's pretty fucking clear.
But yeah, Josh Boone, that's his only claim to fame.
Yeah, well, he was going to be directing The Stand for a little while. The remake of Stephen King's The Stand.
Oh.
Well, they were not necessarily a remake because it's only had a TV thing.
Yeah.
But and then he also, what I really liked about him is that he came forward and said, yeah, I'm probably doing The Stand, but the one I really want to make is this new book called Revival.
Right.
It's not super new. It's probably about 5 years old now. A Stephen King book called Revival.
Have you read
it? This is one of the most recent ones that I've really just clicked with of Stephen King. Sometimes I read them and it's kind of just perfunctory. I'm just kind of like, yeah, that was cool.
It was all right.
Revival I really like this is up there with his best. And so hearing that he connected with it that way too, I was like, we might kind of, I think I might dig the level you're on. I think we might be kind of,
keeping an eye on Josh Boone.
Yeah, I am. And so I was kind of excited that he was doing this. And then I heard it was like, yeah, we're going to make an X-Men horror movie. And I was like, yeah, okay, sure. It's going to be you're going to have scary elements in it. But based on this trailer, it looks legit. Like
this looks full.
They're trying to make a horror movie.
Yeah, it looks like that powers are completely secondary.
Yeah,
they've got nothing to.
It just happens to
just happened to involve mutants that have powers.
And I don't know if the horror elements themselves are because there is a certain mutant character that is kind of
that's what
maybe a little unhinged and is leading down this path, or are we in an environment where two worlds are kind of clashing? Supernatural horror is clashing with supernatural comic book sci-fi.
Yeah.
Like, either way, I'm kind of interested.
Going on the imagery that we saw in the trailer, and this is just, I could be clutching at straws, I'm not sure, but the graves that you see that are unmarked in the comics of the X-Men, that there is a timeline where that has happened, and you're seeing a lot of X-Men that have died because there's a lot of experiments on mutants at a certain.
Are we thinking alternate timeline?
You know what I mean? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just saying that.
Well, because we're in an alternate timeline at the moment because of. We've gone back and
redone everything.
Done all that nonsense.
So from 2 onward is clear because of if you want
the X-Men timeline is the biggest fucking disaster.
I love it, and I love that I'm just going to watch it one time all the way through.
With like spreadsheets and whiteboards and red string connecting
and get to 3
photos.
and go, you know what? Fuck this.
Yeah. I'll be over it in one movie. I'll be like, nah, I'm just going to watch. It's funny though, because
I'm
usually
just watch Logan. Fuck it.
Usually I do care about that stuff. The X-Men series is, I literally do not care.
You don't care.
I'm just like, just make good fucking movies. I'm fine. It's cool. Whatever you want to do.
I'm just going to rewatch Logan. Fuck you all.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. That was so good. I can't wait to rewatch it.
What else we got?
Fucking so many. Sweet Virginia.
Oh, that was intense.
That was intense. John Bernthal from Punisher. And what was the other big thing that he did that he kind of exploded from? Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He played Shane.
A thriller. I'm getting...
Yeah, a little bit of in the vein of True Detective. It was very handheld. Not studio lighting. It's not
Sure.
It's not on a set or anything like that.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
It looks very character driven.
Yeah.
But like violent and dealing with some heavy shit.
Heavy issues.
But
it looks awesome.
Looks like it could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
Wonderstruck. Did that? Was
Wonderstruck? I did not see.
You didn't see that? Well, I'm not a huge fan of Woody Allen.
No, I did watch this trailer.
Oh, hang on a minute. Is it Wonderstruck? No, it's Wonder Wheel. Dumbass.
The Wonder Wheel.
Christ,
yeah, I did watch this trailer.
You did watch this?
JT and
Jim
Belushi.
Yes, Jim Belushi.
What are you? Who's casting Jim Belushi in anything? We talked about this.
That's because he's an arsehole. That's why.
Is he an arsehole or is he just an awful actor?
No, I believe he's an arsehole.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Well, that's what I've heard from interviews.
Okay. Yeah, fair call.
But
you're not surprising me.
another
It's not
Woody
like
Allen movie.
I think he's going to be a great guy or anything. I don't know. Is
Well,
there proof of him being an arsehole?
He's overshadowed by his brother, who was brilliant.
Who was a brilliant comedian and was unfortunately unable to, control a certain
controlled
addiction.
some substances. Yeah. Well, that's
and that sucks.
But yeah, to be honest, I'm not a big Woody Allen fan, but I'm just telling the people.
I like Woody Allen in spite of myself, and
what's your favorite Woody Allen? I think we've talked about this before. It's Bullets Over Broadway, isn't it?
It might be, yeah. Bullets Over Broadway I love. But then again, I haven't done the classic Woody Allen. I've never seen Annie Hall. I've never seen Manhattan. I've done a lot of random kind of Woody Allen stuff.
I went back and watched Annie Hall and Manhattan. And I was like, I can see... Oh, okay. I didn't mind that. That was actually quite good. I don't like his later stuff. But then I watched...
I don't like much of his later stuff.
Blue Jasmine? Is it Blue Jasmine?
Yeah, Blue Jasmine.
I actually fucking love that movie. I went out the next day and bought it because it was so good.
Look, there's no doubt that he knows what he's doing.
But he just churns them out. He's just like, next one.
And chances are, next one. He makes a bad one. People forget about it in a year anyway because he'll make another good one in another year.
Yeah.
Anyway,
good point.
We had a kind of a full official trailer for Black Panther.
Oof. Which I watched.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I want to forget it now because I'd rather just watch the first
enough.
And then
that was enough for me.
That's all I need.
God, what a good time that looks like.
I love the backing track and how this is just.
Marvel pick their tunes so well. Because, no offense to DC again.
Full offense from me.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
But, watching the newest Justice League trailer and David Bowie's Heroes kicks in. And it's like, okay.
No.
Sure.
You're clutching at straws.
Well, it's not so much clutching at straws as I think it's like... It's like Suicide Squad all over again. They've just chosen the most obvious choice.
Yeah.
And just because you slowed it down and put a creepy fucking choir behind it...
It's got fucking... Yeah.
It's still the obvious choice.
In saying that, though, New Mutants, it had Pink Floyd singing,
I thought
it was fucking rad. It was really so rad.
Yeah?
Yeah. It worked really well. But yeah.
Yeah, look, and the problem is that on paper, they all seem like good choices.
It does.
So we get the revolution will be televised line in Black Panther, that line over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking great how it works in conjunction with what we're seeing.
And what's playing.
And so on paper, they all sound like good ideas.
Yeah.
The problem is when you put it up there against the trailer, someone has to go...
That didn't work. We need something else.
It's just a bit too obvious. It's a bit too on the nose. We need to find something a little bit better. Another Brick in the Wall is so close to not working, but just pulls it off.
Perfect.
Just pulls it off,
yes.
I think.
Yes,
yeah?
I agree.
This Black Panther... Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second then, so we just had some weird dead air for a second then. That was really strange.
Did you like that?
Yeah, it was good. So the Justice League one doesn't work as effectively, but I think the music choices for Black Panther are really great because they are pretty kind of... They're deep cuts. They're not the kind of stuff that you're like... It's not Jungle Boogie.
No,
exactly. Like that, you know what I mean?
Exactly. But calling something, calling a movie Black Panther and the history that this superhero has,
I think, and
comes with some weight.
History so well.
Comes with some weight, and you need to put it out there, and they do perfectly.
I think so too.
Really
yeah, absolutely.
Can I just go back a little bit? Have you seen? I probably should have made you watch it before this. Have you seen that? So the Justice League movie is jumping on every single bandwagon. Have you seen the Gillette ad?
Gillette,
the
shavers,
shaving,
right?
Have you seen
the
that?
Australian shaving company?
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you seen how that company has clearly gone? Hey, Justice League, how about we give you a ton of money and we incorporate the Justice League movie with our new razors? Big thumbs up, and we make it like a fucking. I think it's like a minute trailer. Tys, it is so hilariously just what the fuck are you doing? It's for me. It's Justice League going. I feel like we're not going to get the money that we want.
They need based on look. I'm no fucking Hollywood expert. Right. Clearly, as I'm sitting in my fucking half-empty room in northeast of Melbourne,
making your podcast.
Yeah. But I think they need to really fucking kill the box office to make money on this because I think based on the reshoots that the Joss Whedon situation has brought in, and
I think the Wonder Woman has
absolute saturation of advertising. I am seeing
massive.
it everywhere.
Yeah. But it's not good everywhere like Deadpool.
No, it's not effective.
No.
It's bad. It's kind of boring posters.
Yeah.
Like, give me those fucking Thor posters any day of the week. Those fluoro smoke ones. They're beautiful. I don't want just a black fucking background
Justice
with
League. Fuck off.
like bad kind of Alex Ross impersonation artwork.
Yes.
Like, I'm not up for that. That's not what I want to see.
I love
hope it's not actually
that
Alex
artwork
Ross.
was wrong. No, it's not Alex Ross. They've ripped him from that.
Yeah. And so, they need to fucking make some coin on this, like, because I think, like, conservatively, they've spent 150 mil on the film.
Right.
Conservatively,
sure.
I would say closer to 200.
Yeah.
And
with
on the advertising,
reshoots,
with the reshoots, it's got to be closer to 200.
Fuck. And now advertising. This thing has gone...
So you think usual films double their budget in advertising?
Yeah.
I think they've done bigger than that. So let's say that conservatively, they've spent 500 mil on this film.
Fucking Warner Brothers. Where do you get the money?
So they need a
shit?
worldwide take. And remember, Batman v Superman only worldwide made about 700 mil.
Yeah, wasn't that?
So that was on an investment of probably at least 400 to 450.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't...
They weren't like... They wanted to do billion-dollar money.
Yeah, it's not Blair Witch money. It's not original Blair Witch money where you're just blowing it out of the fucking water and changing the game.
Profit is like 4,000. Yeah. So I think they really need to fucking... This needs to be huge.
They're not going to do it.
I don't think it's going to... It's going to win a couple of weeks in a row.
Sure.
It might not even do like It level money.
No, but It level money has...
It was incredible.
It is now the highest box office horror ever.
Yeah.
It blew... The one
did
before
like
that was...
120 mil in its first week or some shit.
I love that shit.
That's good coin.
Yeah.
That's Avengers coin.
That's Avengers coin. Yeah. Good. Good.
Anyway.
We don't get us wrong, people. We're going to see Justice League, and you know what? We may do a fefeature prez on Justice League.
I think it might not be a bad idea actually, because especially if we like it, because then we can. Because if I like it, I will happily talk about it for 2 hours.
Oh, please,
and be like, thank fuck,
it was good. I'll be happy if it was good. All right,
so because we need to move on quickly.
All right, moving on quickly.
Last couple, 24 Hours to Live, an Ethan Hawke playing John Wick style film.
Bring it on. I love that.
Looks good.
It looks good. I love that older actors are jumping on the revenge bandwagon, like we said last night.
Yeah. We've got Antonio Banderas doing Liam Neeson,
right, yeah.
and now we've got Ethan Hawke playing Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke's a good choice for this, though.
I've always loved Ethan
I've always liked Ethan Hawke. Yeah. I think he's rarely bad.
Yeah. He was the only good thing about... What was the movie that was filmed over 3-4 decades?
Boyhood,
yeah.
I have not seen Boyhood because I could not give a fuck. I was like...
I totally understand.
This is what we've talked about so many times.
Yeah.
This was that Boyhood is the perfect case of every person in the world telling me, oh my God, you have to see Boyhood.
I'm out.
And I'm like fingers flipping the bird at everyone as I walk past them. I'm not watching that fucking shit.
Yeah, but it's up for Oscars, Tyson.
I don't care.
Fuck you.
I don't fucking care. If you fucking took it 12 years to make.
Fuck off. I don't care how old the
Lots
kid
of things
is.
took 12 years to make.
Get fucked.
Anyway.
Yeah, fair deal. I totally understand. I do.
It's such a bad attitude to have, but I love it.
No,
I love it.
I know it's a bad trait to have, but we have it.
Yeah.
Sue us. Fuck it.
Anyway. So yeah, we'll watch that. I'll tell you what I'm going to watch the fuck out of.
Ooh.
The Ballad of Lefty Brown.
Oh my God.
So a Western starring Bill Pullman. A revenge Western with Bill Pullman as your lead, doing crusty old bearded Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
I'm fucking...
On the back of a horse with a shotgun.
I cannot wait.
His friend gets shot and he rambles a posse, a literal posse together.
He's doing
He's doing Jeff Bridges. He gets a young posse. He gets a young kid. He gets chips from Sons of Anarchy, and he gets together and takes down some dudes.
I cannot wait.
Bring it on.
Honestly, and look, I've watched some pretty rough recent westerns in my day, but I'm reserving.
What was the recent with? Was it Denzel? Was it the remake of
Magnificent Seven?
Oh God,
that was pretty disappointing.
I wanted it to be good.
Look, I'm going to watch the hell out of this because it's an actor that I like. I have real affection for, Bill Pullman. For some reason, he's one of those guys that I'll pick out of a line and be like,
you love Bill Pullman?
I love Bill Pullman.
Really?
What
movie was it? Was it?
It was probably Independence Day, to be honest. I watched that a lot when I was a kid.
See, get a good monologue on you and a good speech, and he's all yours.
I was the peak audience for that film. We were 12, 13 when it came out.
Oh, dude, we were all over that shit.
That movie was made for us. And Bill Pullman was my president.
Was that the start of disaster movies? Was that the start? No?
We had some stuff slightly beforehand.
Yeah.
Not a lot though.
Perfect Storm.
No, Perfect Storm was much later. I want to say Twister was the year before.
Oh, Twister, yes, of course.
I feel like Twister is kind of where I put a bit of a starting cap
I watched
on.
Twister. Wow.
Twister?
I watched Twister recently.
It does not hold up.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's pretty hard work.
Leave it in the past. It was good in the past. Yeah.
Leave that flying cow with its awful CGI in the past.
But I will stick by Helen Hunt. I love Helen Hunt.
I love Helen Hunt. She's really good in it too.
She is. She's great.
She's so good.
She does really well.
I miss Helen Hunt.
Yeah. Helen Hunt, come back to us. Write to us on the podcast.
Like she does a lot of work, but I think she should be doing more stuff,
A-level shit.
A-level stuff. None of this indie shit. She's fucking amazing.
She's
Helen
great.
Hunt. Anyway, and the last thing was a trailer that we both kind of watched and went, well, that was a bit fucked up, and a movie called Trauma.
Oh,
which
that was a rough
Spanish kind of hostage horror kind of thing. And that looked really intense.
That's definitely up my. That movie is the type of movie that my brother will devour. He loves something that really pushes the
it reminds me of things like Straw Dogs and
Irreversible.
And even like Your Last House on the Left and your I Spit on Your Grave. It looks very rape revengey,
very hard watch,
but with like a kind of a hostage. What's the word I'm looking for when it's like
it's a home invasion
angle. Look, this is completely going to be up to the individual. You watch the trailer and you'll either say that's for me or it's not for me. I don't know if it's for me. I think I will wait and check out some reviews and then maybe give it a watch.
Yeah, fair deal.
Because I've surprisingly seen a few of those. Like I've seen Straw Dogs. I've seen I Spit on Your Grave. I've seen Last House on the Left.
I've seen Irreversible.
I've seen Irreversible. You know, so it's funny because I don't particularly. You know, I would never call myself a big horror fan. I've actually seen a lot of these kind of films because I actually like the revenge element.
Right.
If that makes sense. I like seeing how a movie gives a character strength to avenge their wrongdoings.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, in certain circumstances, it's a pretty fucking foul choice to give them the impetus to do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't just go for those movies, it goes for anything else. Whenever I like seeing a character find the strength that they didn't think they had in order to overcome something, and in a very literal sense, beat the fuck out of some people.
You basically just named the Karate Kid.
And to be honest, that's why I love the Karate Kid and things like that, because they're all degrees. Yeah, they are all degrees. Yeah. Anyway, so there are so many trailers floating around, and we didn't even talk about 10 of them.
I wanted to, my friend Dharma. Did you watch that one?
No, I did not watch that one.
Anyway, next time.
So many trailers.
Next time.
But we need to move on what we've been watching this week because we're half an hour deep already.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
So what did you watch
this week? Do you want to go first?
I'll go first if I get.
Because you got. I want to hear some horrors.
I'm only going to talk about one.
Yeah, fair deal.
Yeah, because there's only one we're talking about, I think.
Fair deal.
I haven't had the best October in terms of quality of watching. Because I mean,
audience, you need to tell him what to watch.
Well, it's not so much that. It's the things that we've watched for the show. Have been not disappointing, but
they've been a little bit of a
kind of just a
slog.
I wouldn't say a slog. That's not the right word, but I haven't watched anything where I've just been like, wow. Like an all-timer. Can't wait to watch that again.
Okay.
But
this is weird.
Except for maybe one we're going to talk about later.
Here we go.
I do want to talk about it because it's kind of been floating around a lot of internet conversation, and that's the Netflix original, The Babysitter, which became available a couple of days ago. And so when I saw that was available, I could not wait to watch it. Directed by Mick G. Right? And I'll tell you what.
Did we mention this before?
Yeah. I think I talked about the trailer.
Oh, we talked about the trailer
with Nicole when we talked about Hellraiser.
That's why I heard it. Yes.
Now,
you Mick G.
The Babysitter is unfortunately a wonderful movie ruined by Mick G.
Right.
I 100% believe that this movie directed by somebody else would be a much better movie. Because he cannot just let things fucking be.
Right.
There are some wonderful performances. Mm-hmm. The premise is, I think, really great.
Right.
I think it's really fun. This premise of a bunch of...
Remind me again.
So there's a young character who's probably about 14, I think, 13 or 14. He keeps making reference to the fact that he's too old for a babysitter, so they're very much hanging a hat on that idea. But his babysitter, he has a really nice relationship with. They get along really well. She's like babe of the school, right? She's gorgeous. Dude. Everyone loves her, and they have a really close-knit relationship. Mm-hmm. And then when his parents go away and she's looking after him for a weekend, she invites all her high school vain buddies. So you got this college quarterback, you got the head cheerleader.
She has a little party.
She has a little party, which ends up being a ritual sacrifice to Satan.
Whoa!
So that they can, get what they want, basically. There's a thing where if you drain the blood of blah, 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 and you get what you want. Anyway.
Okay. Who's the sacrifice? The kid?
No.
The kid.
So there's
they've brought the sacrifice.
They've brought the sacrifice, but they also need the blood of the innocent, which is the kid.
Oh no!
But because there's actually a complicated relationship between the two of them. She doesn't want to kill him. She's actually withdrawing the blood from him with a syringe because she doesn't want to kill him, and it's partly because she has this innocent blood on tap, but at the same time you can tell that she actually does really like him and he actually really likes her even after all this stuff that she does.
Right.
You can see that they still had this kind of best friend, brother, sister, sibling relationship, and it's really quite sweet. And look, there are parts of it that are really sweet, parts of it that are really funny, parts of it that are fucking just amazing gore, like some amazing practical gore that I was like, whoa! While I was watching it, because some of it was really fun. And just blood going everywhere, and it's really good time. But McGee just cannot get out of his own fucking way and just let it be a thing. It's like all these dumb aesthetic choices, like where everything is just so fucking energized, and it's all these camera angles and close-ups, and fluoro text flashing up on the screen for characters' introductions and all these things that you're just like, can you just let this movie breathe for a second? Because I really am enjoying these characters. I'm enjoying this situation.
Yeah.
I'm having a really good time, and you keep ruining it with your choices. With your it's 100% the directorial choices, I'll say, that ruin this film. And they don't even ruin it. I actually still manage to really quite enjoy it.
Yeah, but someone other than yourself would write it off because of the choices.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Fair deal.
But it's made for a different audience. It's made for kind of like a teenage ADD audience, I think, and that in that regard, I think it might be kind of successful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, there's clearly a love of horror running through it. Like, but just. Or there's a love of kind of geek culture, I'll say, running through it.
Okay.
They have conversations about their if they had to go up against the big bad, what would be their dream team of 6 people, and they kind of they talk about their their geek culture kind of things, and they nerd out on each other, and that stuff seems authentic enough.
Yeah.
But and then he finds a pocket knife and brings it up on the screen, and the screen stops to say pocket knife, and I'm like, what?
Oh, God.
Yeah, we got it. Like,
we
that's
knew
fine.
that.
And some really weird POV stuff. You know that shot where...
Oh, fuck. I know exactly what you're talking about
so
already.
it's that angle that works sometimes really effectively. I think in something like, was it Neighbours? Where they strap the camera to you, facing you, to kind of be like, if you're fucked up on drugs or you're really drunk.
That's the only time it works.
Like, whoa! Yeah. And there's shots like that, and I'm like, just let the movie do its thing,
Don't do it when you're running. Horror movies try to do it when you're running. Put the camera on the person when they're running. That doesn't... Anyway, I understand. You've got to go pro. So well done.
The girl playing the babysitter, weaving...
Sorry, 2 seconds. Oh, Samara.
I was about to say Samara, but I'm like, no, that's the chick from The Ring. Samara Weaving. Who popped up in a couple episodes of season 1 of...
Related?
Ash.
Weaving?
Yeah, niece. Or
niece.
Niece or cousin.
Okay.
Cool. Popped up in a few episodes of the first season of Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Oh, nice.
And was quite good in that.
It's on my list. I haven't watched it yet.
I think she's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, she's really great. Charming as fuck.
Oh, cool.
Really great energy. And because she's playing like a crazy lady as well, she's got the eyes for it, man. Because even when we're meant to believe that it's like we don't know yet the twist, she's still got the crazy eyes. Like she just pulls it off really, really well. Surrounded by teenage character actors that have been good in other things. Oh, okay. Like you've got the guy from The Duff, the main hunk guy from The Duff, who is Amell, Stephen Amell, or his brother. Not the one that is Arrow.
Robbie
Amell.
Not the one that is Arrow.
Yeah. Who, by the way, is now nearly 30 and is still playing teenagers.
Who? The guy is... Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. Like, seriously. Stop casting a 30-year-old as a 17-year-old.
No, come on. They've been doing this for years. Way back when... I Know What You Did Last Summer. They were all 35.
No, they usually... You can get away mid-20s... Start pushing 30, it just looks weird.
Yeah, fair deal.
Then you get like Bella Thorne, who is everyone's it girl at the moment, and then the silent Asian one from Pitch Perfect.
Oh, yeah, who talks really quietly.
Yeah, who is hilarious.
I want to burn people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she plays a really kind of intense, crazy role in this.
Nice.
So, look, it's definitely worth watching. I would say it's definitely worth watching if you can just kind of, every time something dumb happens, just go, oh, McG, and keep going.
Push through, people.
Push through.
Because
there's some really nice elements to it.
Nice.
Leslie Bibb and Ken Marino play the parents, and I like both of them in various ways.
Yeah.
And I think they're really effective here.
Oh, cool.
It's a good watch. It's on Netflix. It goes for 85 minutes.
Oh, it hooked you, didn't it, Tyson?
Mate, as soon as I saw that, as soon as I knew I could start watching it at 8:30 and be finished by 10, I was like, well, I'm watching this movie. Because that's perfect.
Fair deal. All right, then. Well, I watched something a little different. I'm not on the horror binge that you're doing. So I needed something light and fun. So we watched, what did we watch? Oh, we watched The Big Sick.
I've heard this is wonderful.
Which a friend lent me.
Yes.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful to the point where I kind of want to watch it again already.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
So just to fill in those who don't know, I'm going to say his name right. Camille. Oh, you son of a bitch. Nangiani. Haha.
There you go.
Yeah. Who's a comedian. He's been on...
he's very... he's been on a ton of stuff. He's guest starred on a whole heap of stuff, and he's just very familiar.
Just on SNL. He's on... What's the one that I want to watch him on? The Silicon Valley TV show. I want to watch that. But yeah, he... this is his actual way that he met his wife, and that kind of hooked me in a little bit.
Yeah, autobiographical.
Yeah.
That's not the word.
That's not the word. Give it a shot.
Autobiographical.
There you go. But yeah, he steeped in his family is very you do the way of our culture, which is
traditional Indian.
Pakistani.
Oh,
yeah,
Pakistani.
Okay, cool.
And
so you obviously, and this happens with a lot of families. Yeah. You marry into another Pakistani family,
absolutely,
and that's what happens. Now he being in, I think he's in Chicago. I forget the town. Falls in love with an American white girl who is played by Zoe Kazan.
Oh, I like her. She's popped up in a few things that I've enjoyed her in.
I don't mind her. I'm kind of, don't. Yeah, but yeah, they fall in love, but obviously because of what secret he's keeping from his family and from her, they kind of drift apart. Mm-hmm. And during that break, she comes under an illness and has to be induced into a coma.
Right.
Now, because of his relationship and with her friends kind of go, oh, well, don't go, you deal with it. They kind of go, can you call her parents?
Sure.
Because, you were dating her and things like that. Now, he has to call her parents. So he meets her parents for the first time at the hospital and she is in a coma.
Yeah, right.
Now, these are the lovely type of parents who are played by the amazing, who I will watch in anything, Holly Hunter.
I love Holly Hunter.
And Ray Romano, who for years I fucking hate. I don't like everyone. I am the only person who fucking hates
Raymond. I don't like everybody. Do you know everyone loves Raymond?
Fucking hates Raymond.
Literally, it is 3 minutes of dialogue and 18 minutes of audience laughter at people reacting to things.
It's fucking awful.
It is not
hate that
a show.
And the fact that it went for 12 seasons.
It blows my mind.
Man.
It blows my mind watching that show.
Are you kidding me?
How much is literally someone just making a face and the audience loving it sick.
But him in anything else, like I actually like him in Ice Age, he does not bad. There's another... There's another serious movie that he does where I was like, oh, Ray Romano out of nowhere. I forget the title. But this he actually does not bad. He plays the father of the girl and...
Welcome to Mooseport? Was that
Ray Romano? I don't think I watched that.
With Gene Hackman and Ray Romano?
No way.
I want to say.
But, maybe I did watch that. But anyway, so Camille kind of deals with the family and realizes that he actually does have a lot of feelings for Zoe's character, Emily, and keeps coming back to the hospital. And, the parents hate him at the start, but then, of course, because they're all going to the hospital together and they don't have any... They need something to get off their minds, so they do stuff with him and everything like that. They form a relationship, and it's really beautiful. But this isn't, which is what I love. This isn't, a traditional love story where she wakes up from the coma and hey, we're in love, and all that shit. You came back. No, it's serious. She wakes up and goes, "What the fuck are you doing here? I don't fucking like you. You wouldn't even introduce me to your parents and all of that stuff." So and it's based in
realistic,
reality. It's
realistic human
exactly.
interactions. Yeah, I like it.
Which I love. I love the side note that he is trying to still make it as a comedian.
Yeah, sure.
And all of the beautiful culture clashes that come up. I just love culture comedy, like all of the Pakistani references with his family and his mum is hilarious. I love her. But yeah, him and his trying to make it as a stand-up comedian. He has stand-up comedian friends who are hilarious. They're on screen for a good maybe 10 minutes all up. And they are what I'm watching it for as well. They're so serious. They're like, wow, you fucking suck tonight. What the fuck was, and they're so hilarious. I'm
sure they're all recognizable faces as well.
Oh, yeah. I don't recognize them, but I've seen them before somewhere. I don't know their names, but yeah. But yeah, and it's just lovely that this is the way that he met his wife. And in the credits, you obviously see this is my real wife, blah 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 blah, all that stuff. It's just a lovely. It's a nice watch. It's easy. It's quick.
Yeah,
and,
great. Well, this is once October finishes.
Oh, this is on your list, isn't it?
Well, then, like November and December is when I basically watch every movie that I wanted to watch from this year.
Oh, right.
That I haven't had a chance to watch yet.
Oh, okay.
Which this year is going to be quite the list because I have not watched anywhere near the amount of films that have come out this year that I wanted to.
I know.
I've already watched more movies this year than I watched last year.
Right.
So in the whole year.
Is that because of the podcast?
It's a mixture of things. It's a mixture of just kind of putting a higher emphasis on watching movies, I think. But compared to last year, I've watched so much less of this year's films. Last year, I think I watched probably between 60 or 70 new films for the year.
Nice.
This year, I'm currently around 20 or so, 20 to 30 new films for the year. Nice. And I'm up around 90 to 100 of just old rewatches and stuff like that. Yeah. I've got some fucking work to do, man.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Come end of November or mid-November?
Mid-November.
Mid-November is when everything finishes.
No,
you're into the end.
I'm all the way up until like literally my last work-related contract is on December 15th.
Jesus.
But
hey,
in amongst that, I will be able to like watch a whole shitload of movies.
I like that. We'll put it on your list. Big Sick.
Yeah, I really want to. I'm really excited. I think that's going to be really fun. All right. Well, we've got to move on to our feature presentation. Feature program.
Feature program. Yeah.
Because we get the spooky. Ooh.
Oh, I love the howl at the end. It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
And now our feature program.
All right, well, we're here. Feature program time.
Feature program.
We're doing one of our uproariously famous segments. Is that a word?
It is now.
It is now. Everything Old is New Again.
Everything Old is New Again.
Take a remake and the original that inspired it, and we have a little bit of a chat-skis about both.
I like it.
What's going to end up happening is they're mostly going to be horror films because...
There are a lot of them.
There are a lot. I don't know how horror films just became the genre that we're going to remake. Why was it not like romantic comedies? Why haven't we seen like a remake? Yeah, there's been some.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, why haven't we seen like Some Like It Hot or The Apartment?
Good point.
Or why haven't we seen all these movies being remade? Yet every single horror film
has totally
from
been
the 70s and 80s, almost every single one that ever had any kind of name recognition.
Or they're just spitting out more sequels, like the new Chucky movie.
Yeah, which I've heard is actually really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's funny. Chucky is one of those franchises that apparently has taken a turn.
Oh, really?
It went real shit through the late 90s and early 2000s. Although I'm a sucker for Bride of Chucky. I thought it was really fun.
Really? That's where I stopped. I haven't seen. That's where I'm up to.
Yeah, I'm really
a sucker for 2. Child's Play 2? Oh, dude.
I think I've seen 2. I haven't seen 3. I know for a fact I haven't seen 3.
I saw 3 first.
And I haven't seen anything post Bride of Chucky.
Right.
But apparently it's gotten real good again.
Seed of Chucky? Yeah. Oh, let's do a fucking Chucky.
I would love to do a Chucky marathon. I think that'd be really fun.
That'd be awesome.
But anyway.
But yeah, we don't get anything.
We don't get anything other than horror, really.
Some things, though, I like that there are directors that have signed things. Like, this is why I absolutely love Robert Zemeckis and Steven Spielberg signing a thing that says that Back to the Future will never, ever, ever be remade. Ever.
That is wonderful news.
That is hands down the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. Because some things just should be remade.
No.
Ever.
And look, we tried with Ghostbusters last year, and we had
there
were such noble intentions with it.
I liked it.
And I think the idea of the female Ghostbusters is probably the better way to do it.
So awesome.
Because there's no point trying to, I don't want to see Dan Aykroyd running around trying to sell me fucking vodka. I'm done. Dan Aykroyd is kind of done.
Yeah.
But and it didn't work. I know
Bill Murray does his own thing, and
Bill Murray is a presence more than anything else now.
Yeah.
He just
rocks up at weddings.
He just rocks up randomly, and everyone's like, "Holy shit, Bill Murray's here!
What the fuck?
This party just got fucking rad."
Insane.
But you know, for some reason,
But I
we
love
just
the
get horror
comedians that
movies
tried to give it a shot. But
we get horror movies every fucking other week.
That's true.
That are remakes of classics, and so I think our Everything Old is New Again category segment,
Sure.
is going to end up being pretty horror heavy.
That's all right.
I'm okay with that.
And, you know, maybe we'll do it one time.
I think we'll definitely do it at some point. I've missed the cinema now. I've well and truly admitted that I'm just not going to see it at a cinema.
Yeah, you have not missed the cinema. It is still around.
I'm not. There's no way.
You're not going to give it a shot?
No, because I've got to go see Blade Runner, and I've got to go see fucking Thor, and I've got to go
Thor.
there are things I'm going to go see.
Everyone is saying, Nick, when are you seeing Blade Runner? And I'm like, dude, with little man, I've got a finite number of times I can palm him off to grandparents.
That's it.
And it's Ragnarok all the way for me.
Oh, and
dude,
I'm Ragnarok opening day. Like, don't get me wrong. I am well and truly there.
I've looked at the dates, Tys. I can only make it like 4 weeks down the line.
What?
I know.
No,
because too much on. Anyway.
I get it. Yeah. I'm going to do like a 10 a.m. screening. I'm just going to get up and just do it because I know that if I don't do it, I'm not going to be able to wait for like a random night off. There's no chance. So on my day off, I'm just going to go smash it out by myself if I have to.
Maybe I'll take the day off. Fuck it.
Yeah, call it sick.
Good idea. Yeah.
Fucking mental health day. What better way to spend a mental health day than watching fucking Thor Ragnarok?
Exactly.
Anyway, so back on topic.
But we're doing the Fog. We are doing the Fog.
We are. So we're looking at the original Fog from 1980, directed by John Carpenter. Then we're going to have a chat about the remake from 2005, directed by non-singer.
No, we got it wrong. It's Rufus. I looked at it. It's the singer is Rufus Wainwright.
Rupert.
And this is Rupert Wainwright.
Hang on, what?
There is a singer.
Yeah.
We're thinking about the singer.
The singer is Rupert.
Isn't it Rufus?
Is the singer Rufus?
I think the singer is Rufus.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
I'm gonna correct this.
And the director is Rupert.
Yes.
Gotcha. I'm with you now. Is it?
2 seconds.
Either way, it's not the singer that directed that film.
Yes, the singer is Rufus.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, okay.
And so we have Rupert Wainwright directing the remake from 2005. And the less we talk about that, the better. So why don't we start
with the classic.
The classic, 1980. It's funny that we, without even thinking about it, we've picked two movies from 1980.
Yeah.
Seems like a pretty especially two... The Fog is probably not a staple for a lot of people. I don't think it's the kind of film that everyone goes when they think of John Carpenter horror. They don't just immediately go, "Oh, the Fog."
Yeah, the Fog.
Love the Fog.
No, they go Escape from New York. But
even like for horror, they'd go for Thing. I think before anything else.
But I knew of the Fog. I know the Fog. Why do I know? I haven't seen the Fog.
No,
I've never seen either of these.
Yeah, I'd known about the Fog for years because I think it's just got one of those evocative names where it's just kind of like, "Ooh, the Fog."
And that's
What's
the thing.
in the Fog?
And that's the thing, Tys. When I started watching the Fog, because I did it, you have to do it classic and then remake.
Oh fuck yeah! No one's watching it the other way around.
Exactly. Well, last time we did this, Tys, you watched the remake for. That's because you didn't have.
It's because I didn't have the original.
That's okay.
And I'd seen the remake before, so it was kind of
But when I started,
is what we're saying.
No, we're not. But when I started watching this, I was like, yeah, the Fog. But I was thinking it's going to be a bit more like the Blob, but it wasn't at all.
No,
it was very different.
It's a really interesting film. Let's just get it out of the way with immediately.
Okay.
I fucking loved it.
Oh, dude, I was all over it.
I was all over it.
Look,
this is my favorite film that I've watched in October by far.
Nice.
Yeah.
Top horror.
Well,
standing.
I don't think it even really matters that it's a horror film or not. I think
it was a good film.
I just think
talking about a good film.
I think it's just a really great exercise in spooky storytelling.
Yes. I got that straight away. It's the first thing I wrote down. This is a traditional ghost story around the campfire. That's what this is.
And look, they're not pulling any fucking punches with that by setting that first scene around a campfire with the old ship captain telling the creepy story. They know what they've got. They know what they're about to do. They're giving us an old school campfire horror tale.
To tell
the
kids.
kind of thing that you would tell kids. And it's really funny because this film... I don't know off the top of my head what the rating is. Do you have the IMDb up at the moment?
I do. Where's the rating? Down the bottom? M. Classification M.
No, so that'll be different for...
That'll be different for everyone else.
For everyone else, that'll be...
I can see all classifications if you like.
Because to me, I think this would work really effectively pitched at a kind of early teenage audience. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of... It felt like... I know this sounds really dumb.
Well, this is... Yeah, sorry.
No, that's all right.
It is all over the shop. So Canada, you've got 12 plus, Canada, PG basically.
Yeah, that's probably kind of where I'd market it.
Europe is 15.
Yeah, okay.
15.
That's
and then
kind of...
United States is a hard R for some reason. And then Australia is an M.
So they went... Well, R for
over... R for them is...
Over 15.
Over 15,
yeah.
See, R for us is over 18, which is their X. X?
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah.
And
so yeah, you're right. It is... This is...
hang
I would
on.
have no...
No, they've got... No.
No?
Because they've got NC-17.
Oh, that's right. And
O.
then... That's right.
Oh,
so yeah,
did NC-17 replace R?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But you're right. This is a one that I wouldn't mind showing, like, when you're in grade 5 or 6.
Well, this would be a good kind of one to show. Yeah, show a kid who's like, I'm really into horror films and I'm
Let's
really
watch
starting to dig
something scary,
it.
Dad.
I think this is the kind of one where you can watch together because the scary elements to it. There's a few jump scares here and there that are fucking great, by the way. Like
totally.
The one in the boat with the locker,
Yes,
opening up. And I love it. Do you know what makes me love it even more? Because it's a fake out, immediate jump scare.
Yeah.
You get the it's just this.
Yeah,
and then
boom.
no, it's actually something legit. And
Totally.
I'm like, that's so fucking great.
It's
because
smart. It's just smart.
like it totally. We have this build up of tension, release of tension. No, wait, there's more.
Yeah,
and that's just great. Like instincts. That's instincts as a
good.
filmmaker, and I really dig that.
Yeah.
And
I love the little things, like in the start when the fog is coming over the island. Weird stuff is happening, which the remake didn't really do.
They did like little bits of it, but it was all CGI, fucking
Yeah.
glass breaking and shit. And I'm like, fucking.
But in this one, there was legit things. You were like, oh, that's odd. Like it would give you a shot where there literally is no people, but weird stuff is still happening.
Yeah.
The tree is falling in the woods, but no one's around.
Yeah.
It's still fucking happening.
Yeah,
and you're like,
sure.
whoa.
For sure.
So that was for us to see, and you're like, oh, something's going on, something shifty.
Yeah. And I liked,
know.
I just liked the atmosphere. I really dug the atmosphere of this film. I think it's positioned to be a fun horror film.
Yeah.
Like, even though, look, it's kind of, it's a bit bloody at times, and it's not exactly like it's never legitimately light. It's always kind of pretty serious. There aren't any gags, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's telling you that it's okay to have a good time in this film. And I really dug that. I really dug that element to it where we can actually just it's the kind of thing that I would put on at a Halloween party. It's the kind of thing you'd have just playing in the background at a Halloween party, which you couldn't do for some other things because...
Well, you can do it for the remake.
No, because everyone would fall asleep.
Everyone would be like, the fuck have you got this on for?
What the fuck's going on with Smallville? Is this? I didn't see this season of Smallville.
A chick from Taken? Pass, full pass.
Hard pass.
Oh, hard pass.
And and so I just loved the atmosphere of it.
I loved it. The island. I would want to live on this island.
It's very cool. It's a cool locale.
Little small town.
Yeah, and it works so effectively for it because you get that isolation from it.
Yeah.
And it makes sense when it's like, why aren't you just driving the next town over?
No.
We get that feeling of isolation from it, which is really effective.
So good.
I'm going to go to my notes because I'm
Fair
just
deal.
ranting and raving now. But,
I am... what was I going to say? Oh, actually, no. You know what? I'm going to leave that for the start. One thing I will mention at the start, if we're going to start with characters, Stevie Wayne just skyrocketed up the top as one of the coolest chicks in cinema that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Not only does
Adrian
she...
Barbeau's radio DJ.
She is a radio DJ who owns the fucking lighthouse in the town and broadcasts from that lighthouse.
Yeah.
There is no other job in the world that I would want.
And do you know what? It's really disappointing because that is such a 1980 job. And it just like...
and that won't exist. That can't exist now.
It doesn't exist anymore because she's essentially a podcaster.
Yeah, she's a podcaster. If we could do a podcast from a fucking lighthouse, Tys, dude.
It'd be great for us. No one else would give a fuck.
I don't care. My favourite is her setup.
It's beautiful.
Like, how good is that?
I love all the cassettes. I love all the...
She's playing
the
vinyl
vinyls.
up there.
I love the old school kind of atmosphere of it. I love the... I'm getting mixed up a little bit. I love the old answering machine that runs the ads.
The ads.
Basically, when she's not there, she
just hits it on.
She puts a loop tape on that runs an ad.
How good is that?
Like, I love that. I just love
She's smoking up there. It's badass.
I love this like DIY kind of attitude to it.
Yeah.
Reminded me of Pump Up the Volume. That kind of
Totally.
this atmosphere where you can, if you've got the technology, you can just be the voice of this town. And after a little while, everyone just kind of goes...
tunes into it. Oh, do you listen to Stevie Wayne?
Yeah,
Fuck
it's Stevie's. It's Stevie's show.
Yeah.
Fucking, yeah, of course I listen. Who doesn't
I saw her
listen?
down the street. She's fucking awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Although, I will give John Carpenter his due. Her walk to work is a little eerie and a little scary. Like, because you're watching her walk, because it's a long, steep walk down those steps.
I love that shot.
How good was that?
That was a beautiful piece of framing.
Yeah.
Just, we pulled back just enough to really see just how far it was.
She has to go.
But it was gorgeous. I'd fucking hang that on a wall.
And in my head, because this is the fog and it's a horror movie, I'm like, so basically I'm going to wait for the scene where she has to run home, and that is a long motherfucking run.
That's it. As soon as you see something like that in a horror movie, you know that kind of... that isolation from everything else is going to be used against her.
Yes.
And I think the foreshadowing of that was really great, because they don't draw attention to it. He basically just pulls out enough so that you can see just how far away from the mainland or from main civilization she is. But that's it.
If this was McGee,
he would have had a step counter or some shit. Like, it would have popped up with like 330 steps. She is. Yeah, exactly. 4,000 miles from town. 4,000 miles? That's a very long way
Absolutely,
away.
we're going with that. We're going with it now.
That's quite far.
4,000 miles from town. Look how far she is. Stevie Wayne, by herself.
Yes. I really enjoy Stevie Wayne as a character. I think it's a really... it's an interesting choice, though, because this film doesn't really have a protagonist.
No. Which is another thing that I love.
Which I really dug about it. It's an ensemble kind of character piece, but at the same time, one of the main characters doesn't even interact with anybody else aside from being on the phone.
Yeah.
And I loved that. And I hated that they fucked that up in the remake. And, I think it adds this kind of... It gives the town this kind of lived-in quality.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's something that I don't think a lot of horror movies take advantage of, is that sometimes in these circumstances, it's not just that one close-knit group of friends.
Yeah.
Like, especially in a town-wide ghost story,
everyone,
it's affecting people in pockets of the town.
Yes.
And there's I don't know everybody who lives in my fucking suburb. I know about 2 other people that live in my suburb. And so there would be stories where you'd call up someone on the phone, like they do in this, and she's like, "Who are you?" And it's like, "Oh, are you the one that runs the radio station?" Yeah. Hey, by the way, I think we're experiencing similar things. It's funny how that you don't see that a lot.
No,
do you know what I mean? That kind of that mutual kind of. Is this happening to you too? Yeah. We don't know each other.
Yeah.
But we happen to live in the same area. Yeah, that makes
that's
sense.
a bit strange.
I get that.
Yeah.
Which I really dug. Yeah,
I loved it. It was so good.
God, what else? I will say, though, that I actually rented a HD transfer off Google Play.
Oh, how did that go? HD.
Look.
Yeah. If anything needs to be played on VHS, it's
this feels like one of the movies that would just benefit massively from a VHS viewing.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I mean, some of it looks stunning, and I actually wanted to ask the question: was some of the edges of the frames really smudged?
Yes.
Okay.
Was
cool.
that on purpose?
I don't think that was on purpose. I think that is just.
That was just the print that we saw?
I think it's a mixture of the print and I believe the technology at the time, because obviously we're trying to put a particular focus on certain things. Yeah. Maybe, I don't want to speak out of turn, but maybe this is one of those things where, in order to expand the picture for full widescreen experience, we're actually seeing the things that perhaps John Carpenter didn't expect would make it into the frame.
Because back in the day when this came out in 1980, the biggest TV you could get was about as big as a MacBook Air, for fuck's sake.
Look, but, I mean, films weren't being made for television. That's a very recent kind of thing.
Yeah,
they were made for the cinema, but even in cinema circumstances, I feel like some of this was... Oh, we're not going to see that.
You're not going to see
point of that edge. You're not going to see those side edges. Exactly. Because it was really kind of. It was like someone had smudged the lens.
Vaseline, man.
Yeah, a little bit of Vaseline on the lens.
Yeah.
And it was distracting, to say the least. But I'm glad it wasn't just my transfer. How did you watch this? What did you watch this on?
I borrowed it off a friend.
Cool.
He had it on DVD.
DVD?
Yeah.
Right.
I wanted it on DVD. I didn't want it on Blu-ray.
Sure.
I was like, no.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I'm going to invest in the Blu-ray of this.
You're gonna,
I think Scream Factory do like a really killer special edition with great artwork, and all kinds of docos and stuff. So I'm going to get it shipped over.
One of my favorite things, which I've always wanted to do. I don't know why. This is just me working at the video store. I thought it'd be fun. I like to play a movie up until the credit sequence, and then the title screen. Yeah, right. The title shot for this was so beautiful. It's such a wide shot of the ocean, and then just a small little the fog. And I was like, this is beautiful.
I
is so good.
I was
This is
on
gonna be-
board
I
from
was- this is
frame
gonna-
number
yeah,
one of
this is
this
gonna be
film.
so good.
And look, this happens to me a lot with John Carpenter stuff. I'm not. I'm a huge John Carpenter fan,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
have quite a few gaps
Yeah.
in my John Carpenter
Yeah,
viewing.
fair
Even though
enough.
he's only directed 13 or 14 films,
Yeah.
I know I've only seen about half of them. Even though I love him, I think he's just so fucking great.
Yeah.
And so
And I just love the way he looks. Can we just talk about the way he looks? He looks fucking weird.
He does look like a weird unit, especially now that he's like old and
Old
crusty.
and shit, yeah.
He looks fucking.
Yeah,
he looks
yeah.
like the exact kind of guy that would make these kind of movies.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I just like as soon as it started, I felt the John Carpenter vibe and was just like,
I'm in.
I love being in this world.
Yeah.
I love being in his worlds. I love being in films that have his aesthetic. I just love
His
every part of
setups
it.
are beautiful. He has a certain tone to his levels. Like
He uses color exceptionally well. He
So
always has. He
a lot
uses
of blacks
contrast.
and blues in this.
He just pushes colors against
Yeah.
against each other really well.
So good.
And you know, he obviously has an affinity for practical effects, even though Escape from LA. He tried to
give it a shot.
and we have Snake Plissken surfing on the fakest looking wave I've ever seen in my life. I could have
And
made
that's
that
okay. That's
on
okay. That's one. I would chalk up
MS
Escape
Paint.
from LA as one of the worst sequels of all time. Escape from New York was awesome. But yeah,
I saw Escape from LA when it came out on video.
at the video store,
which was
I'm the
about
same.
97 or 98 or so when it came out on video.
96.
Oh, so
we
let's
would've
add
got that,
let's
yeah,
add a year to it for the video to come out, and I was really pumped to see it.
Yep.
And I've never watched it since because even as a 15-year-old, I was like, well, that sucked dick. So
Well, that sucked.
yeah, I'd love to
I
go
wanna
back and watch it again. I'd love to watch it
I'd
again
love to watch
because
it
I actually think I might appreciate it more now.
Yeah. I'm not too bad on the gaps of John Carpenter. I've seen quite a bit. Well, the one that I've literally done to death, and my brother could talk about it backwards, is Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh my god, I fucking love Big Trouble in
Absolutely.
Little China.
And the only reason that I haven't bought Big Trouble in Little China because on our honeymoon, we got home, we're a little sauced, we're in LA, and the Airbnb we were staying at, the guy was awesome, and he had all the Netflix you could fucking want, Tyson. This thing was
Wonderful.
chocked up to, and he put
American Netflix.
Yeah, I know. And he put a sign said,
that's the shame.
please feel free, Netflix, go nuts. And I was like, oh my god, babe, Big Trouble, in Little-" and we started watching that, and she passed out, and I was like, why are you passing out? You can't pass out on me right now. So yeah, but I haven't made her watch it because there's no cover. I want the original cover, Tyson. I like original covers.
I've got like a special edition DVD, and the cover's no good. It sucks. I want to get I want to get
the
that
original fucking
Is
cover.
it Drew Susan? I feel like it's Drew Susan.
Yeah, it's hand drawn, man. Come on, it's boss.
Yeah. Well, I think I think Shout Factory might do a special edition of that too. Maybe
I'm gonna look that.
that looks pretty good.
I'm gonna look that.
Yeah. So what else? What else have I got? Also, like we know, John Carpenter has a love of music. He has composed a lot of his own scores.
Exactly. He wrote that Halloween score.
Well, and the Halloween score is amazing.
Oh.
The score for this is out of control. Good.
Oh, it's boss.
When
It's awesome.
when that main theme started in the kind of the montage of the town, God, it was fucking
I was
good.
like, dude.
And what was amazing
How does
about
he
it is
know
because
how to do this shit?
I know for a fact I hadn't seen this movie before, but that theme music, despite the fact that I've probably never heard it, felt instantly recognizable. And that is a very clever trait.
Yeah.
That's something that's really hard to do. It's not that it sounds like it's ripping off something. It just sounds familiar.
But you know it, yeah.
You know it before you've even heard it. And that is a skill that is very hard to pull off.
So good. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, God, he's just look, you know, we're in a time now where 80s nostalgia is having this huge comeback, resurgence.
I'm loving it.
And look, I'm a huge fan of it, but unfortunately, what that does mean is that we're getting a lot of aping of that kind of style. Yeah. And so for every actual John Carpenter score, we get a lot of kind of imitation synthy kind of scores.
There is some gold, but there is
some gold. Of course, there's some gold, and there will always be one in particular that I really enjoyed. The score to The Guest.
Yes.
God, that's killing me. Who's that by? It's the guys that made Your Next, and I'm a big fan. And why don't I not? Is it Ty West?
Why do I know The Guest? Guest as in 2014 Guest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Ty West. It's
Are you talking about the director?
Adam Wingard.
Adam Wingard.
Yeah. So the score for The Guest, I think, was one of those ones where they used the synth really great. And it wasn't just, oh, hey, we're using old 80s synths and here it is.
They were doing.
They actually wrote an effective score on that instrumentation, and it's really hard to do.
The other one that comes to mind for me, and everyone has jumped on the LP for this, is the Stranger Things.
And look, Strange Things was really effective too. Absolutely.
That title sequence.
Yeah. We're pretty close to season 2, aren't we?
Next week.
Wow. I really wanted to watch season 1 again before
That's
that.
all right, you can chuck it out. Actually,
You know what's great about Netflix is because I don't even need to fucking watch it. I can watch it over the fucking Christmas holidays. It's fine. It'll still be there.
It'll still be there, Tys. It's all right.
Yeah, this score is killer, man. I really dig it.
Oh, I loved it.
God,
it was awesome. I'd like to bring something up. For starters, in this movie, we have Jamie Lee Curtis and her mum.
We do, Janet Leigh.
Janet Leigh is in this, which blew me away. I was like, what the fuck?
What was really funny is because I didn't actually recognize her at first. I was kind of like, well, you look familiar.
No, neither did I.
And then I just kept watching it and was like, God, it was like eating at my brain. And I was like, fuck, who is that? She looks so familiar.
Yeah.
And I looked at her, I'm like, holy shit, of course it is.
Yeah, of course it is.
But it's really great.
I just want to bring up a little something that happened with Jamie Lee. So Jamie Lee is, we get introduced to her character because she's hitchhiking on the road. Yes?
Yes.
She's hitchhiking?
Yes.
She gets picked up by...
Does she have braces in this film?
I
Or like
believe
a
so.
plate or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of hidden. I don't think she's supposed to have them in this movie.
My HD transfer has just exposed the truth. Is that what's going on? Okay.
Yeah. Which, another HD transfer that comes to mind. Have you seen Lethal Weapon at the end when the car rolls?
I have not seen a HD transfer of that, no.
My Blu-ray showed me everything of that stunt car, had the fact that it was so hollow that it wasn't a car at all. It was basically a cardboard box flipping, and I was like, oh, dude, I don't want this shit. Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, Tom Atkins, Nick Castle, his character's name, drives up, picked her up as a hitchhiker. Back in the 80s, you could still do that. Actually, no, you really couldn't. But he picks her up, and they're chatting, right?
Yes.
They're chatting, Tyson. And then the next scene, Tyson, they're in bed.
I did...
Smoking and going, wow, that was unexpected. Kind of smoking under the collar and all sweaty. That was a jump. Was that a leap?
I made a specific note of this.
Yeah?
They get it on quick, is my note.
That was the quickest.
It is possibly the quickest in all of cinema. Except maybe in like that movie Shame with Michael Fassbender, where I think he bangs that chick on the train within like 3 seconds.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was a little fast.
It was a little fast. It's an odd...
But not only that was it a little fast, they're like
through
the rest of the movie, they full couple.
Yeah. I think it's strange because it's...
What the fuck?
So the character writing in this film itself
is a little
iffy, I think.
A little hilly.
Yeah. I think we get stereotypes.
Yep.
And then we kind of try to fill them out from there.
Yeah.
I think. And so in order for this to have kind of, we want these two to remain together story-wise, we're kind of in a position where it's like, oh, well, how else are we going to keep Jamie Lee Curtis and Tom Atkins to have their stories run concurrently? Mm-hmm. So we need them to sleep together. So we need it to be like a sexual thing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, she would have just got where she was going and gone, thanks for the ride, see you later. But she's a character in this film.
That's true.
Yeah, it's strange. Especially, and I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be rude.
Sure.
But especially because Tom Atkins...
He's a lot fucking older.
He's a lot older, and I wouldn't use the term handsome. He's got something. He's got something about him, but
no. Back then, he was rugged. He was like the
rugged.
He was like rugged. He was like the fucking. What's his name? Fucking Smokey in the band and fucking
Burt Reynolds.
He had a Burt Reynolds thing.
Burt Reynolds
he had a bit of a Burt Reynolds going on.
Well, I'm confused though because
I could be wrong.
Jamie Lee Curtis is gorgeous. She's stunning.
There's a reason she is the scream queen.
Yeah, back at like 1980s, Jamie Lee Curtis is flawless.
Please, 1990 True Lies, Jamie Lee Curtis is fucking intense.
Yeah, you're right. Tom Atkins is he's like he's like everybody's second uncle. You know what I mean? And
who is this fucking jerk?
And look, good on him, man.
Kurt Atkins. Okay. No, Kurt Atkins. Tom Atkins. Sorry.
Kurt Atkins.
I was way off. I think he's a bit of a rugged dude.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, that's a weird look. I love him. Don't get me wrong. Night of the Creeps is one of my all-time favorites. I fucking love Night of the Creeps. And so I'm all about Tom Atkins. I think let him do what he likes. Well, but you're right. It's a very strange. And we'll talk about it later. But did you notice how in the remake they kind of took the piss out of that moment? There's a moment in the remake where Tom Welling says to Maggie Grace, "Oh, wouldn't you know?" And she's like, oh, I want to suggest something. And he's like, oh, that we sleep together immediately. Wouldn't that be really strange?
Oh, yeah.
And then they do bang. And it's like, hey, you can't just hang a hat on that.
And then just fucking do the same thing.
Even though you're already dating. Because that movie's so much better than your movie. So don't try and hang shit on that movie, you fuckers.
You knew it was going to be shit from the start,
how much better...
you?
And, we won't get to that just yet.
Yeah.
But it's part of why I disliked that movie, because it seems to hate the movie that it's remaking, which I'm like, that seems...
Is that what you...
That's the vibe I got from it. We'll get there.
Full disclosure later.
Of course.
But no, I do like... I knew him from Lethal Weapon 1. He was the father of the daughter that jumped out the window.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And he was like, help me.
I do like him a lot. I'm missing the mustache, though.
That's right.
I like him when he has a mustache.
Yeah, he needs a mustache.
That's
where I was getting the Burt Reynolds vibe.
Yeah, no, true. But except he has no mustache.
Yeah, he's a bit clean.
He's one of those guys that you imagine has a mustache.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, of course he does.
Yeah.
And then you see the photo and he doesn't. And you're like, what?
What the fuck?
I just imprinted a mustache on him.
Fair deal.
Yeah. Hey, how about that weatherman? Isn't he the biggest douchebag?
He was just a jerk. He was just a rat jerk.
Do you know what I love about that character? And it's a quite famous character actor who's done a bunch of stuff. I can't remember his name.
It's not. No. It's not John Houseman. No.
No, John Houseman
James
is
Canning?
the guy that reads...
Dan O'Bannon.
Dan O'Bannon. It's Dan O'Bannon.
Dan O'Bannon.
Yeah.
That was the character's name. So his name is...
Yeah, the character Dan O'Bannon, who... Do you know all the character names are like people that...
they're all...
John Carpenter has worked with before. So Dan O'Bannon wrote Dark Star with him and then went on to write Alien and stuff like that.
Oh, that Dan O'Bannon.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then Nick Castle was the guy that played Michael Myers. He was the stuntman that played Michael Myers in the first Halloween. So you got character. Yeah, but anyway, the character named Dan O'Bannon. God, that fucking guy, what a douchebag.
Dude.
And I love that they just they embraced it wholly.
Yeah.
That scene where the fog takes over his weather station and he's like, don't worry about it, darling. I'll be fine. Just some fucking kids playing a trick, and you're like, you are gonna die.
Dude, you are gonna die
horribly.
You're gonna
and it's gonna be
fucking
amazing. I can't wait for it.
Jeez, it was so funny.
I love a good satisfying death.
I know. I love it when someone that you don't like gets comeuppance. You're like, dude, I hope you get it really badly.
You're gonna get it
really fucking badly.
You're gonna get a hook in the fucking neck.
Yes.
That's what you're gonna get.
That was so good.
Yeah, really great. What else?
I think I need to discuss something.
Okay, go for it.
It's not... Well, this comes back to why I thought it was going to be the Blob. The fog isn't what's attacking them, Tyson. There's people in the fog. There's ghosts in the fog.
There's ghosts in the fog.
I didn't know that.
Right.
I didn't see...
Oh, so you were thinking more like the fog was an entity in itself.
Yeah, I thought the fog was actually the killer. And now going back and doing a little bit of research and seeing the old covers... How there's a fog, but there's shadows
there's
in the
always
fog.
Shadows
there's
in
always
them and
shadows in the
stuff
fog.
like that.
Or there's somewhere there's red eyes coming out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Because I didn't know. I thought the fog was the entity that was attacking people.
Sure.
So yeah. There's ghosts.
There are ghosts.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the ghosts. I love them.
I'm all over them. These things are fucking scary as hell.
They're
because
so well designed.
It's for me. Which is a big thing for me, and I want to talk about this later, what really scares you. For me, it's not something chasing you. It's not something running after you. It's something that's just going to stand there, and it's just going to look at you.
Yeah,
look at you from a distance.
It's the inevitability
and it's like,
of death.
No.
It's that thing where you look at something and they're not in a rush.
They're not in a rush.
They know
I will get you.
They're going to get you, yeah.
But now I'm just going to make you squirm.
For the time being, yeah. I'm happy to just stand here and be intimidating.
That is fucking scary to me.
Yeah, fuck yeah, it is.
Oh.
I'm with you 100%.
I loved it.
I loved their design. I loved that they were tangible.
Yeah.
We didn't have weird kind of rotoscoping lightning around them to make it seem like they weren't a physical presence in the scene.
Don't get me wrong, I love a rotoscope.
I do 100%, but there wasn't any kind of they had weight, substantial weight.
Real things.
When you saw them in a room, they were there.
Yep.
And that was fucking great.
And there were a lot of them sometimes.
That bit in it's towards the finale when they appear in the church.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just in a line, and the fog is just floating around them, and you've got these great neon lights. The lighting on this fucking film is just so good.
Because they had the fog to play with.
Yeah,
so I was like,
it's coming from a theatrical background, we know how effective fog machine is with stage lighting.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking vibe, man. You can really do wonderful things with lighting when you've got fog involved.
Yeah.
And they took full advantage of this, and the lineup of them in a row, and then the eyes light up, the red eyes light up, and I'm just like, this is fucking awesome. Yeah. I'm enjoying the shit out of this, and in a way that I felt like I was a kid watching an old school ghost story.
Yes.
And it warmed my heart. Like it really did.
Yeah.
I know that's probably not the reaction that maybe John Carpenter wants to know about his horror movie, that it warmed me, but it really did.
But no, I think he would now, looking back at it, being a kid of the 80s that we were, you know, and the fact that the fog now, him talking about it, he's like, oh, that's probably not going to be scary anymore. But with the nostalgia feel to it, this thing's going to, you know, make us, you know, love cinema and a wanting of back in the 80s.
Absolutely. I get a similar vibe to when I watched Monster Squad for the first time, of all things, which is really interesting because that's obviously designed specifically for kids. Or like for teenagers. For teenagers, anyway. You know, it's like Goonies, but better. And whereas now...
statement, Tyson.
I support it 100%.
That is a statement!
Rewatch Goonies. It's no
God.
Good. And... this for me gave me that same kind of emotional feeling.
Yeah.
Like it's something like Lost Boys. Lost Boys is obviously a much more in later 80s where you get that real kind of pseudo echo kind of film clip vibe.
Yeah.
But this has the same nostalgic effect for me where because it is a time that I have such fond memories of. Even though it is kind of like a pretty full-on horror film, I can't help but come away like with warm heart.
Yeah. In my head, the kid in this movie, even though he's going down the beach and finding stuff, to me in the other room is his Atari, and he's rocking out in an Atari, you know, and playing Voltrons.
Fun,
and I'm loving it, 100%. And that's what makes me. I'm there with you.
Yeah,
I'm there with you all the way.
Okay, I think maybe this film kind of worked for me on a level, on a kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not superficial. There's a different word to describe it, where it's not the film itself, it's the surrounding elements to it. So anyway, there's a specific word, and it's fucking killing me that I can't think of it right now.
Fair enough.
So that the actual text of the film itself and the substance of the film itself might not be the reason why I loved it as much as I did. I think it might be some of the excess baggage that I'm bringing to it, and that I love this era of filmmaking. I love this director. I love the vibe. I love the atmosphere.
I think that happens with a lot of movies. If you love a lot of the things that are coming along with this movie. What comes to mind? What's another movie that does that for? Right,
100%,
100%.
I'm 100% believe that Stranger Things. My love of Stranger Things is 50%. I love what they are reminding me of, and 50% good storytelling.
There are so many boxes that Stranger Things ticked for me. Yeah. Like,
I think if Stranger Things was set in the current day, it would only be half a good show.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
no. What comes to mind? You know what comes to mind? What you were describing just then, Batman Returns, we've done an episode on that.
Yeah.
But Batman Returns for me is that nostalgia. Because of Batman, because of Tim Burton at that time, Tim Burton.
Yep, 100%.
Because of the characters of Catwoman and Penguin, and the love of that dark Batman, that's what it did it for me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. I'm with you there, 100%. I just want to make a few passing comments before we move on, I think, because we probably should move on to the remake pretty soon. I like that the ghosts themselves were almost saved for the finale, so that they
when they came out of
we kind of caught brief glances of them, but they were they were shadows in the fog.
Yes.
They were really effective, kind of like and back of frame kind of
things.
Like
a hand coming out.
You'll just see a hand, or you'll just see, there's bits where they kind of walk closer to you in between the lighthouse flashes and things like that.
Yes.
That's all fucking amazing. Like really, really great. Yeah. And then we finally get to see them. We never really even get to see them in full light.
Until the end.
The most defined view of them we get is when the eyeballs light up and he's holding the cross.
That's right.
And we still... Like, you couldn't draw one. You couldn't draw their features.
No.
They're just black
shadows.
Because
they're black shadows and kind of...
With eyeballs.
Some of edgy
and
parts
some
or
features
something.
here and there that you get.
But I can't tell you what they are. I can't describe them.
They're pirates, I guess.
Are they?
Well, yeah, that's
guess
the kind of vibe I got. Ghost pirates.
Yeah, see, that's it.
Because they got hooks and shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Hooks on
true.
hands.
Can I ask a question just on that?
Sure.
They were just after the gold.
No, they wanted the revenge though as well.
They wanted the revenge.
Yes. So this is the bit. This is the one.
So
kind
I
of,
think this
This is
passed
the
over
part that
me.
I felt was a bit unnecessary.
Okay.
I think I liked it better without the final death of the priest. The priest played by Hal Holbrook, who is what a good character.
Dude, I just saw him in
Wonderful character.
in West Wing.
Hal Holbrook. Do you know what I find really funny about
What a
him?
champion.
He's one of those guys that went from being a very handsome, manly character actor
Yeah.
to literally the littlest old man
Who
Isn't he
wouldn't
just-
harm a fly.
Isn't he just
He looks
tiny
so
now?
lovely.
He's just like
He's
is he dead?
so
He's still
nice.
kicking around, isn't he, Hal Holbrook? He's still trying to make films. Or-
Yes, he is
yeah.
still alive.
He directed fucking Into the Wild and shit. Like,
What?
yeah, that's him.
Into the Wild as in... No.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, hang on.
Into the
That was
Wild
Sean
was
Penn.
Sean Penn.
No, Hal Holbrook directed something,
Okay. He's directed
and it was very good.
He's directed a
It
lot.
was very good recently, and it was something similar to that.
Jesus Christ,
About-
he's directed a lot.
Fuck, what was the movie he directed? He's in Into the Wild. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say.
Oh,
He directed
yeah, he's in
something
Into the
recently that I
Wild.
really liked. Anyway,
Okay.
we'll look at it.
We'll get back to it.
We'll get back to it. But here he plays like, you know, he's obviously playing the older, wiser priest character.
Yeah.
But he's still physically intimidating.
Yeah.
He's not like a crumbly old man. Like
No.
he's got substance there, and I think he does a killer job. Anyway, when it gets to that final scene.
Yeah.
And so he's done the thing where he's given him the cross.
Yeah.
The gold,
The
the cross
gold
made of
cross,
gold.
yeah.
And said, take it. This is the new deal. You can have it back, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And they take the
And they
gold.
take the
disappear.
gold, disappear.
I think that was great. And then when he came out at the end and said, "Why didn't you take me?" And then they
take him.
they're there to take him again and kill him. I'm like,
Yes.
nah, no, because I really liked the strength in that moment, the strength that it took for him in that moment to come forward and say, "I'm willing to sacrifice myself with this to make it
cross.
right."
Right.
I think that was he earned his life, I guess,
Okay.
in a way. To me, it just feels like one of those. Ooh, it's not over yet moments. And
I
I'm
was
like,
going to say, I think you forget you're watching a horror movie.
yeah, and look, we're watching an old creepy campfire horror film,
Yeah, and
which
then they came
always
back
has,
to get him!
yeah, and
Yeah,
it
exactly.
always has the stinger at the end. But I just think for that character earned, I think he earned his
He did
his
earn
life.
it. I agree with you.
And I was a little bit kind of like, oh, that's a bit sad. I think it would have been more effective if it was somebody else.
I love it.
Maybe.
So awesome with it.
Yeah, I was a bit sad. I was
don't
like, oh.
attack him.
Because the rest of the energy of the film, it didn't have that mean spirit, and that's a bit mean spirited.
fair deal, yeah.
If it was somebody else who we hadn't come to love, like let's say for instance that the weatherman who was presented as a douche hadn't died yet,
Sure.
and
Come
yet,
back for him.
And so at the end of the film,
No.
you hear the priest say, "Why didn't they take me? Why didn't they take the 6? They wanted the 6."
Yeah.
And then we cut to one of the characters that we didn't like very much,
Right.
getting in their car or something, and you just see a bit of fog creep in, and then you turn around and there's the silhouette of 6 different people there.
Not even. You just see the fog creep in.
Or you see the fog creep in. Because then we know, oh no, they still wanted the 6,
Yeah.
but they didn't want to take the priest because he was the one
Because he was
willing
the nice
to.
one.
He was the one
Sacrifice
willing to
himself.
sacrifice. He wanted to make the deal. He wanted to make it right.
Nice,
You know what I
okay,
mean? Like
yeah,
I feel like, oh,
okay, I
he
get
worked
with
so
him.
hard to make it right. Don't take him now. That's
yeah,
not fair.
deal. I get it.
Yeah.
Get it. I see it.
That's my
Can I just
one
say something that-
slight qualm.
Okay. On that though, if they are pirates, this is just the horror version of Pirates of the Caribbean. Because
Essentially,
that's sort of the fucking same.
It's the same plot, yeah. Because in order for them to find peace, they have to
They
return
have
the
to
gold
get the
to
gold.
Yeah, they have to get the gold that,
Yeah.
that
So
they
at the
sell.
end, when he gave the cross, and I was like, oh, they just need to. This is pirates.
Hey man,
Fair deal.
it's
Hey,
not
if
broke.
it works,
If it's not broke,
it works.
don't
Hey, there are
fucking
only
fix it.
original six
That's
original
it, isn't it?
storylines. Is it 6? Shakespeare?
a waffle iron's just a fax machine. Well, what is it? Fax
forget.
machine's just a waffle iron with a phone attached, as
Yeah.
they say.
All right, let's.
Yeah, I think we should move on and
let's
start
flip
chatting
the coin.
flip the coin to the 2005 remake.
Oh dear God.
So,
Go on. Let's have at it.
I didn't like this at all. It has the reputation of being one of the worst remakes.
Yeah, I looked
of
it
all
up.
time. One of the
Everyone
worst horror
hates
remakes.
this.
I see why.
I agree with them. I do.
And look,
But there were reasons. There were major reasons
there's
why.
absolutely clear reasons why. I think this.
But how do you go from watching? Clearly, they watched the original. Yes.
Well, this is what I was mentioning before. I think they look at the original and say, "Oh, what a piece of shit. Oh, isn't that quaint? We're gonna fucking This ain't your mama's fucking The Fog. Well, you know what I mean?
And it was 2005.
It's such a bad era. Like the mid-2000s, everything sucked.
Yeah.
Everything was
Music was getting ripped.
Everyone thought they were the fucking coolest motherfuckers in the world, and everything sucked.
You all fucking sucked. I sucked. Tyson sucked. Everyone sucked in 2005.
I was 20.
I just moved back to Melbourne.
I sucked. I
totally sucked. Dude,
I was a horrible human.
I was fucking sucked. I was in a horrible relationship. It was terrible.
Yeah. So when it comes to pointing out why this movie sucks,
yeah,
I think we need to be able to put our finger on it a little bit clearer.
All right.
Okay. And there are
some things in here that really didn't rub me the wrong way, but I didn't understand them.
I'm going to put them right out there.
Okay.
There are 3 definitive reasons for me why this movie doesn't work.
Oh, decent. All right.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Tom Welling.
Just him as a character?
Is useless. Right?
Fair deal.
I'll put that out there. He is not a charming protagonist
I've never
in
liked
any
him.
way, shape, or form.
Yeah, no.
Awful.
You're never Superman, my friend. You're never going to be Superman.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Number 1. Number 2.
All the fog was CGI.
That's true. All the fog was CGI. I mean, you can't.
Okay, that's a lie. Not all of it.
No.
Sometimes when it was like the bit where it was circling the cabin where Samuel Blair's son was.
Oh yeah, that was dry ice.
Real. That was dry ice for sure.
Yeah.
But generally, the fog was CGI, and so it had no weight to it.
Yes.
There were times in the original where it was a visual effect, but to me, I was trying to figure it out. I think it might have been a miniature. I think they might have just been flooding a miniature with dry ice.
Yeah.
Because there's a bit where it climbs over the hill, heading down to the lighthouse.
To the lighthouse, yes.
And in my head, I was
drawn.
Maybe maybe it was a drawn effect, but I thought maybe it could have been a miniature or something because it looked better than this fucking CGI shit from 25 years later, though. By the way,
come on.
And number 3,
go on. Number 3. Oh, the ending. No?
Well, the pirates. Too much backstory.
Oh,
I don't need
it gave them
the pirates.
Yes.
They talk. We get flashbacks. We get all this nonsense.
They're related to all of the characters. There's a statue of them all. What the fuck is this
and look,
thing?
in the original, there were similar relationships in a sense,
but it wasn't as heavy. It wasn't as heavy
in that they were the founders of the town, and the priest was the grandson or the great grandson.
No, but it wasn't a major plot point. It wasn't oh no, you all need to die because you're all related. Look, we're all here.
No, and it didn't become and we're going to cut straight to the ending. It didn't become this thing where it's like the female lead is like the ghost of the fucking like the wife of the lead ghost.
What's
his name? He's got a great name. The lead ghost.
The lead ghost's name? Are you serious?
The lead ghost.
The founding father, Patrick Malone. No.
Yeah, it was Malone. No. Yeah, no, because Father Malone. No, Patrick Malone is not the
Williams.
priest.
So last name was Williams. So Father David Williams. No.
What?
Douglas H. I'm going on last names here.
This is good podcasting.
Norman Castle. No, because that's Nick Castle. It's not Stevie Wayne. Richard Wayne. So it's David. No. Douglas H. Arthurs.
Hang on.
All right, you do your thing.
You talk.
I'm going to fucking talk about what were you just talking about?
Blake.
Oh fucking
fucking someone Blake. What's his name?
Okay, full disclosure for starters, how I'm going to start talking about 2005 The Fog. I turned it on. I was like, oh, no, I need to watch this. Come on, let's watch it. And literally through, I'm going to say, I think 3 parts of this movie, I caught myself going, oh shit, god damn it, what fuck, no, I need to watch this. Okay, here we go. All right, Nick Castle, yep, Tom Welling, and oh god damn it.
And do you know what? That's not the movie's fault. Sorry, that's not your fault. That is the movie's fault. Because I had similar kind of experience where I was...
Yeah, you were just getting blasted.
I was drinking, right? And
I was, full disclosure, I was drinking.
It was late. I was like late on I think it was last Friday night. I think I watched this.
All right.
And I was by myself.
A couple of J's.
And I thought, you know what? It's my fucking Friday night. I'm going to have a few drinks while I do this.
Nice one.
And so I was
Hang on a minute. Full disclosure. Did you watch this last Friday? So Friday the 13th, you watched 2005's The Fog.
I think I ruined. Oh, that's the worst choice ever. It was last Friday or last Saturday night. I can't remember which night it was.
We're going to go Saturday just to not ruin my day.
Hopefully it's Saturday.
Not to ruin my day.
As if I watched it on Friday the 13th. What a bad choice. And so, it was an evening entertainment. And I swear to God, like, I know we live in a world where it's really easy to switch off and you've got your fucking smartphone sitting right there and you've got laptops and all that shit.
Yep.
But I had to fight every urge in my body to not pick up my phone and just scroll through Facebook. Because I swear to God, the random goings-ons of my Facebook friends, who I don't even give a fuck about, some of them, was more enjoyable than this film. It was such hard work.
Oh, Jesus.
Such
you
hard
couldn't
work.
pull us out. It really was. It was hard work. And I was lying. I know, because how I watch a movie, I sit up on my couch, I got my feet up on the table, and I'm sitting there. Now, if this happens, I lean.
Oh,
with
the lean.
The lean. I'm lying on the couch now. I'm lying horizontal.
No.
And then all of a sudden...
Bad news. Yeah.
Fucking Jesus Christ. God damn it.
Yeah, I get it. 100%. And what really disappointed me about it was because I think its intentions initially, I think the first 15 minutes or so,
not bad.
I was like, okay, this is what we're going to do.
This might be not too bad.
We're going to try and add a bit more character development because if there's one thing that I couldn't argue against the original is that there's not really characters.
No.
I was on board because
Stevie Wayne was probably the best character in the original.
I think I just there was enough goodwill in the rest of it that I went, yeah, look, the characters are a bit thin.
Sure.
But I'm going with it.
Yeah.
And this one was like, you know what, we're going to try and flesh out these characters a little bit. So we find out a little bit more about Nick Castle.
Yeah.
Tom Elling. We find out a bit more about Maggie Grace.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like Selma Blair as Stevie Wayne.
Yeah. It didn't work.
Didn't compare.
It didn't work.
I mean,
well, that's because
I don't want to hang shit on Selma Blair because I really like Selma Blair, but she just doesn't have the voice. She didn't have the voice for it at all.
You've got to be kidding me. I could listen to original Stevie Wayne. What is that actress's name?
Adrienne Barbeau.
I could listen to her on radio. That could take over Kyle Sandilands any fucking day of the week. Yeah. But to be honest, anyone could.
And you can see that they're trying. Like
they were trying. The whole Tom Welling thing, like at the start, like he's not charismatic at all. But the fact that he's on a boat, he's doing things.
Yeah, he's more involved than the original Nick Castle. Yeah, he's more.
He's kind of a face in the town.
Yeah, he's known in the town. Whereas obviously Tom Atkins was just a dude driving past who knew.
To be honest, he was going
friends
through
with
the town.
He was friends with some dudes on the boat.
Yeah, and then what was I going to say? Oh, another thing. Tom Welling is kind of seeing both women. He's seeing Stevie Wayne and Elizabeth Williams.
Yeah, so
I was like, what the fuck?
He's a scumbag.
Yeah.
And they make no kind of apologies for it. They're just kind of like, oh yeah, he's a dick. And in my head, I'm like, oh, he's going to get his comeuppance.
He's going to die. And it's just
not even that, but some kind of assessment. Like the movie needs to make a choice and say, we don't support
you
Nick Castle, Tom Welling's
single mum.
Yeah, his character choices, like to be the kind of guy that, like that, and because like they must have deliberately done it because the way he picks up the hitchhiker who turns out to be his girlfriend, the biggest fucking contrivance of all time.
Because he came onto her straight away or whatever.
Like it wasn't even like. They don't even try to hide it. The fact that when she turns around and it's her, and he's stumbling around like a fucking 4-year-old, like blah, 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 blah,
I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
I thought
what
you were just some fucking hot hitchhiker I was going to try and bang.
Dude, fuck
I'm
you.
like, so you're not a very nice person.
Yeah.
But at no point in this film, unless it happened while I was scrolling Facebook, do they try
or I was asleep.
Like make a moral judgment on him, which they really should. If they're going to set him up to be this much of a douchebag. He needs to.
Off.
Well, it's not even. Maybe not kill him off. And I think maybe that's what the ending was trying to do, in that his girlfriend becomes the ghost of Blake's girlfriend or something.
To be honest, I still don't understand what happened in the end. I'm not 100%
certain of what happened at the end of this.
But it was because it was such a what the fuck moment.
Because
she
gets so there's the standoff.
But she's having nightmares of ghosts. For starters.
Yes, so she's
connected to them in some
They're doing
way.
this thing where it's like, oh, she's obviously connected. We're talking about how she's seen them for a while. She has that conversation that they have in the bed where she's like, yeah.
This is why the reason I came back to town.
And then there's the finale to the film where is it the priest that? Oh no, it's the town mayor or whatever. He gets his fucking comeuppance.
Yeah,
and. There's like it kind of feels like it might be kind of over.
Yeah.
And then she kind of gets drawn to the ghost of Blake.
For some fucking reason. And then literally within a dime turns into an invisible ghost. And then her ghost turns into the old version of her. So it looks like she was always one of them. What the fuck?
What? Like what?
What just happened?
And look, it's
best as
so
clear
I'm a few drinks deep at this point. And I'm by myself. I've got my cats with me. And my reaction, literally, I'm like sitting there and the credits roll and I'm like, what? What the fuck? Because, like, what is going on?
What the fuck just happened? Like,
that is
literally,
the
what the
worst
fuck just
choice
happened?
ever. It's people sitting there going, you know, it'd be fucking sick. What if she's like what if she's like the ghost of his
Is it
girlfriend?
though?
And everyone in the room went, yeah.
But that makes no fucking sense.
It makes no sense.
No
and
sense.
It's the typical mid 2000s thing where everything had to be everything had to be explained. And this is a problem that we're facing now. I think is that this is why we're getting prequel upon prequel. Is because one random occasion in a film, right? Let's say I'm going to use Alien as an example.
Sure.
So we had the what do we call
movie.
him? The space cowboy, not the space cowboy.
What? Yeah, you call him the space cowboy.
In the original,
the guy in
that's
there.
not what they call him. They call him something else.
But I know him as. Why do I know him as a space cowboy then?
Some people call me the space cowboy.
Fucking hell, really?
Some people call me the gangster of love. No, fucking, from original Alien, space. Fuck, what's his name? The pilot. They find
Everyone knows who you're talking about.
Everyone knows what I'm talking about, but there's an actual name for him. You Google it while I'm talking about it. So in the original Alien, there's a scene where we come across a clearly alien being who has crashed and died while piloting.
And clearly something has burst out of his chest.
And something has burst out of his chest. Do we have the name for it yet?
No, not yet. Keep going.
God, it's killing me.
Keep talking.
So, in 1970 whatever,
Yeah.
that was just part of the mystery of the story.
Yes.
And we all accepted it. And went, oh, wow.
Look
blah,
at that
blah,
fucking thing.
Blah, blah, blah. Mystery, blah, 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 blah. In 2005, or now 2016,
Yeah.
Space Jockey? Space Jockey.
Space jockey.
Is that the right one?
No, I'm looking.
We can't just let that be a mystery anymore. We now have 2 to 3 films, depending how much further we go.
Okay, they're calling it either Space Jockey or The Pilot.
Okay, the Space Jockey.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
We now have 2 to potentially 3 films explaining
The Space Jockey.
the Space Jockey,
Which I fucking hate.
which is unnecessary, totally unnecessary. Why do we need this shit? We don't need it. And that's this movie in a nutshell. We can't just have pirate ghosts with the very
That's true.
the very kind of simple reading of the diary that explains their backstory in very simple terms.
Sure.
We can't just have that. We need to have flashbacks. We need to see the actual...
We need everything explained so nothing is ever scary or
Nothing
just
is mysterious.
Mysterious.
And it takes away everything about their power.
The movie is called The Fog. It's supposed to be mysterious.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's
on.
designed to be a mysterious object within the fog.
Yeah.
We're meant to have kind of vague...
Not even know that there are beings in
descriptions,
there.
little bits and pieces of things here and
Exactly.
there. Instead, we get like a fucking history class on these ghosts. It's like, and it becomes as
And this is-
boring
this is
as
where
a
I
year
fell
9
asleep.
history
This is
class.
where I fell asleep.
The flashbacks are so bad, and the CGI and the ghosts are so bad, and we need to just sit there and watch it and be like,
And go,
oh, okay, great. I'm glad I know that
exactly.
now.
It's not dramatic. It's not horrific. It's not scary. We're just seeing the backstory of how these ghosts got fucked over, and you see
And we
the
get-
burning ship and the
And do
burning
you know what?
people.
It's nowhere near as effective as Hal Holbrook sitting there reading it, and the Janet Leigh and her
character.
assistant. I
Yes.
like her assistant character who gets shat on all the time. She's really funny.
See, that's
Yeah.
sarcasm. I understand. Well done. Well done.
Like,
I did
so
love that.
The 3 of them sitting in that room reading the
That's
diary
right.
with the moody
He's
music
reading it
and
and
the
they're just
lighting.
listening. Yes.
And nothing anywhere near as effective as
No.
that in these fucking flashbacks.
And they were so affected by what he was reading, they were like, "Oh my god, this is really
and
full
that,
on."
you know, like, and that's just great performance, great atmosphere, great score, all working together to create this really terrifying atmosphere.
And instead,
these flashbacks give me nothing. They're fucking
a
useless.
waste of money because that was a
Waste
lot of money.
So much CGI on those fucking ghost faces,
Or even
And
just
I'm
to
like,
burn a fucking boat or on the water.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
and like them not having any physical presence.
Yeah.
Really just hurts this film so much. The fact that they are clearly CGI.
And so the other thing that I want to ask with the remake as well, because there was no gold in the remake, Tyson. There was no big cross. They're not coming for the big cross.
They're just coming for revenge.
They're coming for
Yeah.
revenge, which kind of works better for me as a horror.
It's cleaner in
they're
in a
coming for
storytelling
revenge.
sense.
Awesome. So maybe they'll come for revenge in the next 20 years or something like that. Something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But no.
No, because now he's got Maggie Grace ghost wife.
And he's happy to
He's
fuck
happy
off
again.
and
this is
fuck the
problem.
Maggie Grace
Like,
gross wife.
The character of Blake is such a like a mysterious enigmatic kind of figure.
Yeah.
Now that we've got the whole fucking backstory, and now we know what he looks like, even like because we've
Exactly.
seen him
So clear. That
sans
CGI
leprosy.
is
Like, so it ruins any of the mystery about him at all.
Fucking sans leprosy. That's right. And I even knew who that actor was. Who was
I couldn't tell you. I was not paying enough
I
attention.
know who it was. It was the guy in
And they spoke. They spoke as ghosts. You are ruining it.
Yes.
When they start
ruining
talking. It's just so lame.
I remember. No, the head ghost was the guy in you remember in Armageddon? This is Russian, no touch nothing. What? That was him. I swear to God. I swear to God that was him.
No. I love Stomare.
Yeah. He was in Snatch as well. Boris the Blade.
My favorite Stomare performance. My favorite Stomare performance. It's probably not my favorite, but one of my favorites is when he plays the devil in Constantine.
Oh yes, yes,
he does
absolutely.
that. He kills that.
Let's do that.
Is that him? I don't think that's him.
What's his name? What was his name?
Stomare. Stomare. Peter Stomare.
It's not going to be him, is it?
I don't think it's him.
We just went on a whole big thing, and Nick didn't.
I do fucking love him though. Let's just take a little side note to say how much I love Peter Stomare.
Dude, you're not alone. I love him as
I'm
well.
not even sure I'm pronouncing that right.
Boris the Blade.
Yeah.
Boris the Bullet Dodger.
Okay, so what else we got?
Go on. You got nothing. You know what I did love? When we were talking about the start, the only thing that I liked about the remake was that the start still captured the fact that this was a small town, and I still wanted to live in this small town.
But the locations are nowhere near as kind of evocative as the first one.
Oh, no, the lighthouse sucked.
The lighthouse sucked. The town sucked. It didn't feel... it felt too like it could have been anywhere.
Yeah.
This town in the original felt really unique, and that was kind of its charm.
It was him.
No shit.
Nicholas fucking wins the gold prize of dick, balls, and ass.
I didn't recognize it at all. That's fucking great.
Yes!
I was also drunk at the time. I'll tell you what, though. This mid-2000s horror aesthetic is probably one of the most ugliest things that ever existed.
Sorry, what did you say?
This mid-2000s horror aesthetic.
Oh, it's awful.
This dark...
Yeah, dude.
Not even dark. This desaturated kind of... Boring. There's no colour. There's no energy. There's nothing.
Reminds me of Dracula 2000. Oh, no, that's a bit too shiny.
Actually, Dracula 2000 has more visual...
2000.
No, that's a lie. You know that I don't like it. We've talked about this. I have seen it more than...
Actually, no, there's a big...
I should probably
That's
admit
true.
to.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
There's a big distinction between 2000 and 2005, though. Because 2000, everything was coming out of 90s and very shiny. Everything had glitter.
Yeah,
and a lot
90s
of...
had that New Line Cinema kind of aesthetic to it where like everything looked like Scream. Basically, everything looked like Scream.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, 2005, it was...
2005, there's no colour. Where every single horror remake is populated with people that you've seen in other worse TV shows.
Oh, God.
There's no sense of humour. There's no humour.
Everything is explained.
Everything is explained. Everything has to be like point by point by point.
Picked it out and, it's okay because we've got absolutely everything covered.
And we can't allow anything to be speculative.
Yes.
Because it's like, no. We'll give you a 20-minute monologue for why that happened.
We'll give you the backstory.
Yeah.
We'll give you the backstory.
We can't just allow something to breathe and be a... I keep saying the word because it works.
It works.
But we can't allow anything to be a mystery. Why the fuck not? Anyway.
No, they suck.
They do suck. So, okay.
I haven't got anything else.
Do you know what's really annoying?
Yeah.
Is that the 2005 remake of The Fog is about 20 minutes longer than the original.
Why was that? Why did that happen?
So unnecessary.
Nick totally fell asleep.
So unnecessary. Why the fuck is that movie so long?
Oh God.
I'm gonna give it like single digit points. Like
single digit, go.
Maybe like 2 out of 10. I liked the idea of the ghost touching them and they burn into a corpse.
I don't remember that. Okay.
100%. And you know what? I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
I'm sorry. There's probably people screaming at me going, Nick, stop laughing. You didn't even watch the movie.
That's so funny.
You suck as a fucking movie podcaster.
Right.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
on the boat?
It happens on the boat.
Hang on a minute. Just side note.
Yeah.
He was alive in that freezer for that fucking long? Fuck off.
Yeah, that's horseshit.
Yeah. He's dying.
He's dead.
After a fucking 15 minutes. He's dead.
What else? I just want to give it its due. There was one death that I really appreciated when they broke the glass cabinet and all the glass surrounded that dude and then went...
That was cool.
through him.
I did.
Aside
like
from
that.
some dodgy CGI, I thought as an idea, that's not bad.
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. You fucked up the ending, but not bad. Yeah, I do. I agree with you.
That's all I've got. I think.
Just going to rattle off some 2005 horrors at you.
Yeah, do it.
Should I do that?
Can I just have a guess at which one that I think might be in there?
Oh, go
Is
on.
the Amityville Horror remake from 2005?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I feel like this movie and shares a lot in common.
Boogeyman, the first Boogeyman.
Oh, fuck that series.
Alone in the fucking dark, which no
Uwe
one
Boll.
saw. Uwe Boll, yeah. And then, remember fucking Hide and Seek with De Niro that was billed as a horror, but it was a fucking piece of shit?
I get that mixed up with Godsend, which is also De Niro.
Yes.
And I think they're almost the same movie.
Yeah, yeah. And then, of course, there's the famous The Ring 2, which was
Rubbish.
so fucking bad.
So 2005 we're saying is a bad year for
It's
horror.
just a bad year for horror. Oh, no, I'm not saying that. Saw 2 came out, which, I'm sure there are lovers of Saw 2.
Saw 2 is better than Saw 3.
Okay, that's all we're going to give it.
That's
Red Eye? Would you class Red Eye as a horror movie? Do you remember the one on the plane?
Yeah, I like Red Eye.
Red Eye? Yeah.
I like it quite a bit, actually. I think
Oh my God, Tyson, you are right. Amityville Horror, it is there. I got past it. God damn. I think I saw that at the cinema.
I saw
got
it at the fucking
dragged to the cinema to see
and
that.
I was like, at the time, I remember thinking, hey, that wasn't bad. That was pretty scary. And then I have since rewatched it, and God, it's just the same
no.
shit.
It's
the
such a
problem with
piece of
this
shit.
era. It's
Constantine is billed as a horror, but I actually have a little piece in my heart for
I like Constantine a lot.
I really love it. I know it went against the grain with Hellblazer?
the Hellblazer comments.
Yeah, I know it went against the grain with a lot of people with that, but I think this movie fucking rocks.
You know what? That's fine. Why can't you just make a? It's okay to change certain things if you're making an adaptation. I don't care that he's not British. I don't care about any of that stuff.
I don't think he doesn't have blonde. Exactly, it's Keanu Reeves, and he does a fuck off job.
He's a really great presence. So why just?
He really does. And that first 15 minutes of that movie fucking rocked.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, eh?
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Got anything else for the Fog 2005, Ticey?
Oh, look.
Exactly. Can I say something about the original? The kid goes up to his mum.
Oh, I had this note.
And asks...
Really? This note.
Really?
Yeah, let's do it.
And asks for a stomach pounder and a Coke.
Oh, no, I didn't have that note.
Oh, you didn't have that?
No.
He goes, Mum, can I have a stomach pounder and a Coke? And I'm
What's
like,
a stomach pounder?
What the fuck is that? Actually, let's Google.
Let's go. Do you know what I had with the kid?
What did you?
Is I liked one of the distinctions that I think summed up the difference between 2005 and 1980 really effectively is when in 1980 when she rang her son and said, "Do not go down the beach tonight. Some shit's going on."
To his
and
mum.
he listened to her. And in the 2005 one, he hangs up the phone and goes, "Going to the beach."
Go to the beach, Nana, get fucked.
Exactly.
That is where...
And I was like, "Hey,
you fucking listen to your mum, you little shit."
exactly, dickbag."
Stomach pounder and a Coke is actually Pop Rocks and Coke.
Pop Rocks.
Pop
Not
Rocks.
bad. I like Pop Rocks.
Stomach pounder. Who doesn't like Pop Rocks? You're an idiot if you don't like Pop Rocks.
So for some reason, I wrote in the interesting ideas, I wrote some interesting ideas, the touch equals burning, but I also wrote flashbacks. Oh no, I wrote flashbacks never effective.
No, that's true.
This is funny.
I would love to. I'd love to. I think I should read the next time you do drunk notes.
They're pretty fun.
Are they good?
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Like, what the fuck?
Dig at the odd sex in original.
Dig at the odds. Ah, yeah.
Because we already talked
odd
about
sex,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I feel you.
So the last note.
Last night. Oh, this is going to be a good one.
Already forgotten. Watched it 30 seconds ago.
Exactly.
Already forgotten.
I tried to write notes and Sam was like, "Nick, are you coming to bed or what?" I'm like, "Yes, I know. I just need to write notes." Oh, fuck it. You know what? I'll write this. I love the small talent element. And what the fuck was that ending?
Well, this is...
It's seriously, after that ending,
We
after
talked
she
about this when we
turned-
got here before.
Yeah.
Because I said, full disclosure, I watched this a little while ago.
Yeah.
So, and when you came in, I was like, man, I don't remember anything about this fucking movie. I honestly remember nothing about this movie. So thank God I took some notes because that's the
I took
only
no
thing.
notes.
That's the only thing that's given me any kind of knowledge of this
Exactly.
film.
The
This
only thing I remember
Yeah.
is-
I feel generous giving it like
A podcast
a 1
review.
out of 5. Like, I think, because it just feels like it's worth a 1 out of 5.
This has got to be hands down the only movie podcast, which there are billions, that has done 2005's
And
The
we've
Fog.
spent a good half an hour on 2005's The Fog. No, that's a lie. We've spent about 20 minutes. That is 20 minutes too long.
20 minutes too long.
So I think what we can take away from this
Is
episode of Everything Old is New again.
John Carpenter is
John Carpenter is John Carpenter. He's a legend. Absolute legend of the genre.
as if you're moving away from him.
There's no reason to.
The man did the theme for Halloween. He gave us The Thing.
He did.
You can't go wrong.
He's given us so many wonderful films. And my favorite thing about him, and I think more filmmakers need to be like this. He seems without pretension in any way.
He does, doesn't he?
I really dig the way that when people ask him about his remakes, he's like, "Hey, man,
go nuts.
They're going to pay me a bunch of money."
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
rights.
He's truthful about it.
And I really dig that a lot.
Give it a shot, yeah.
It's like, that's it. He's kind of like, "Hey, man, have a crack at it." Because I think he's not only is he without pretension, he's also confident that you're not going to make a better movie than his one. And if they do, I reckon he'd be the first to admit it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I dig that about him.
That's
100%.
what I like about speaking about your lovely friend Stephen King. I feel Stephen is the same way.
Stephen King's really great when he talks about adaptations of his works. He happily acknowledges if he thinks someone's done it better.
Give it a fucking go. Yeah.
Even though I don't agree with him, which is really stupid because it's his book. He likes the movie ending to The Mist better than his own book.
Wow,
ending.
really?
Yeah, he thinks that they did a better job. I 100% prefer the book's ending. I think the movie ending.
I like that. I like that.
But he's the one
different opinions.
He's the one that fucking wrote it, so he's allowed.
Yeah.
But he freely admits it, and I feel like I think you're right. I think John Carpenter is in a position where, for some reason, his films lend themselves to remakes. Just because they have enough of name recognition to be profitable, but they're also got a cult following which can guarantee some kind of credibility, I think. Yeah. And so,
but there are some Stephen King. Sorry, just to jump on you. There are some Stephen King movies that have been made that will never be remade. That you can't remake The Shawshank Redemption. Yes.
There needs to be a remake of Tommy.
There does need to be.
Without
no, I'm talking about Shawshank, Green Mile.
No one's going to make. No,
you can't remake them.
No, of course not.
No,
but there's some.
Even Misery. Don't remake that.
No,
don't touch that.
No, and yet there's been 3 versions of Carrie. So
go ahead.
Who knows?
We need to do Carrie 2.
We should do original Carrie, the TV Carrie from the mid-90s.
Oh, yep.
Carrie 2, The Rage. And then the remake of Carrie, all in one episode.
Fuck, that's a lot of Carrie.
That is a lot of Carrie.
I know. No, I don't want to do that. Do you know what?
We'll talk about the musical while we're there.
Oh, God.
I fucking love the musical.
You know what? I know for a fact that the original is great. I've rewatched the original. I think it was last year.
Yeah, right.
It's perfect. Don't touch it.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Carrie?
Nope. I can't wait to watch it because I'm a huge De Palma fan.
And you're a massive Stephen King fan.
That's
Stephen King 2 in the can right there.
Hey, man.
All right.
Told you, huge gaps. Huge gaps.
Let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap it up. All right. Well, so I think we can very safely say watch the 1980 original because it's a lot of fun. I'm actually sad that I might watch it again on Halloween night. It's the perfect Halloween movie.
Really?
Because it has.
But you've just watched it.
It has that spooky
Tyson,
storytelling vibe to it.
Watch Carrie, motherfucker.
No, because what I really loved about it is
the horror. It's the ghost story element.
It felt like a community.
Yes.
Listening to a ghost story, and that's what I want Halloween to be about. I want Halloween to be a bunch of people sitting around a campfire
with
saying,
marshmallows.
I have a scary story to tell you.
Yeah.
And listen to this. And that's what The Fog is. And I loved it for that. So yeah, if you're struggling for something to watch on Halloween night,
I agree with you.
100% recommend
100%. Yeah, I really do.
I think it'll be really great. Anyway, we're going to move on to our next segment of the show.
Which is Crossing the Stream.
We're going to cross the streams.
That was good. I like that one.
God, you went real high on that one, man.
Yeah,
real high.
Was that too much?
No, it was great. I loved it. I was all about it.
All
right. Someone's got to go first.
Pause.
And we both like scanning through straight away. It's like, let's just fill up to a certain point. I reckon we can do it. I reckon we can just go.
You reckon you can keep? We're going to keep talking and keep.
I
going.
reckon.
All right.
I think it's really great podcasting what we're doing right now. I think it's engaging. It's
definitely something. I'm going to give it that. It's definitely something.
It is definitely something. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna. Yeah.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, on Netflix, which is it's a good one. We're sticking to the horror theme. Remember that,
of course. All horror recommendations.
But this one is. I watched this. So last year, I took my friend Tyson's advice, and I did horror movie month.
Yeah, you did.
And I watched literally a movie every day.
You were on it. You were fucking on top of that.
And there was only 1 or 2 times where that was actually a fucking slog. But I wanted to get some stuff in that I love. Like Nightmare on Elm Street 1. Mm-hmm. I'm there all the way. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to watch some things that I hadn't seen. Now, one that I hadn't seen, this is a sequel. I'm gonna recommend a sequel.
Oh,
I am gonna recommend it, but this is for those people who horror is your forte. Don't watch this if you're just off the cuff. And the movie I'm talking about is Human Centipede 2.
What?
Yeah. I'm going to recommend this.
What?
Yeah. I'm going to recommend this. Do you know why?
Madness.
Do you know why? Because this movie had an effect on me. That's why. Because don't give me that, Tyson. You haven't seen it.
No, it's fine.
Okay? Don't give me that. Why? Why are you poo-pooing? Why? Go on, give me why.
No, go on.
Go on, give me why. Go on.
No, it's fine.
Exactly.
I'm not going to talk about it. I haven't seen it. So
Okay.
it's not fair. It's not fair.
Exactly.
That's fine.
So the Human Centipede 1, I thought was very well done. I thought it knew what it was doing.
Really?
No, come on. I'm not talking about sewing someone's face to someone's ass. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the film as a whole. I'm talking about the fact that you literally had a cackling madman scientist cackling at the lightning storm and the invention that he had made. And then I'm talking about the how the movie started, how it was hilarious. These two girls who are lost and American and it put the funny spin on that, and then it took a turn and did something different. Okay, that's Human Centipede 1. But what Human Centipede 2 does?
I need to say it.
Go on.
I just need to make a statement.
Oh, please do.
And voice my opinion on this film
Okay,
while I'm here.
Yeah.
I hated that first film.
You hated it, really?
Go on.
Okay. What the contrast Human Centipede 2 is to 1 is that Human Centipede 1 showed you nothing. You didn't see anything. It was no. You're out. You need to hear it there. You're like, Nick, what the fuck are you doing?
I've heard what happens in Human Centipede 2.
I'm sure you have. Read it, yeah, sure.
I read.
But it's different. It's different watching it. It really is.
I can imagine.
This was it was a hard watch. It was really confronting and quite fucking disturbing.
Yep.
And it was everything that Human Centipede 1. When you hear about Human Centipede 1, you go, I'm not watching that. Why the fuck would I watch that? You think of the premise and you're like, there is no way I'm watching this piece of shit. And then you watch it and you're like, I didn't really see anything. That was kind of boring, blah, 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 blah. Human Centipede 2 is where you go, no. If you weren't disturbed enough by what the fuck just happened, then let me show you what's going to happen.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, this is
you're dismissing the shit out of it.
No, I'm not. No? 100%. I'm trying my hardest to be respectful of that.
No, fair deal.
My problem is that I have yet to see, and I probably haven't exposed myself to enough of it. Okay. But I've yet to see a movie with one of those reputations.
Sure.
Yeah, that has been anything more than an exercise in extreme. No, just efforts to be the most extreme.
Oh, okay.
Like, I would use, for example, because I feel like I'm going to struggle to find anything more extreme than a Serbian film.
Sure.
Right?
Well, that is to be honest, that's the bar.
Yeah. And at the end of that film, while also needing to shower,
and watch Mary Poppins.
And watch something else. I also realized that you can spend 2 hours telling me why that film was a political statement on the state of refugees in whatever.
Sure.
The end of the day, that is not what is happening. Like, I get it. I want to respect the filmmaker 100%. I want to be on board with that kind of stuff, and I want to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I get it. For some people, they're going to find the political undertow, and some people are going to find the artistic merit of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I want to say that I am capable of that, but at the end of the day, some of it I think is just horseshit. And you're trying to, I think some of these ways, they are starting with what's the most fucked up thing I can think of, and then retrograde adapting a political or sociological context to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally understand.
That's how I feel.
Trying to give the film either weight.
That's how I feel about the Human Centipede films.
Okay.
He thought, hey man, isn't it fucked up? What about this?
Yeah.
If we sewed someone's ass to someone else's mouth and then
I do agree.
Retrograde adapted a sociological commentary to that.
I do agree, but reading what I've read about the director, yes, it was a premise. It was a premise that he said, I think all child molesters and rapists shouldn't be killed. I think they should be sewn to someone's ass. That was the punishment. That's how they came about it.
Sure.
And they said, okay, and then he made a premise into the movie, but what he did was didn't write one, he wrote three. Sure. It was always meant to be a trilogy.
Okay.
He always wanted it to be like that. So much so that the storyline in 2 overlaps with 1 It's not just a direct sequel. It's not like
it's kind of a meta
yeah.
commentary on one.
Exactly.
Because isn't the main character like obsessed with the first film?
Yeah, right. Which was such a great. Now I understand what you're saying. With
in some ways, that's a very creative way to approach a sequel. I get that.
I do understand what you're saying about a Serbian film. I kind of had. To be honest, I really don't know how I feel about the Serbian film. I don't like it. I know that much, but I don't know.
It's impossible to like.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's a longer conversation. Sorry, I shouldn't have started this conversation.
No, that's fine.
We could go back and forth for hours.
You've opened the can, though.
It is a can of worms.
It is a massive can.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel that especially Human Centipede 2 has it's not. I'm not saying it's John Carpenter the Fog-esque with its beautiful artistic integrity and stunning shots, but there is artistic direction in this. He is doing it for a purpose.
No, okay. Yeah. And look, maybe I'm just
it's a different sort of entertainment.
I'm struggling to open myself up to that as a possibility, and maybe that's me.
Yeah.
And I'm well and truly happy admitting that.
Yeah.
But I think this is one of those cases where this is clearly not for me.
Yeah. And that's why I said disclaimer at the start, this isn't for if you're just going to jump on the bandwagon.
It's definitely not for everybody.
This is definitely not for everyone. I think it takes more than just a fog to scare you. Does that make sense?
So
things in the world are quite fucked up.
So maybe in order to get a certain a level of discomfort from a film, you need to kind of go to some pretty darker places.
Deep shit.
And See, what's funny is because I don't actually find Halloween I don't want it to be about that.
The film or the
date, the celebration. Sure. I don't find celebrating Halloween to be about celebrating that kind of feeling.
Sure.
If anything, it's the complete opposite.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the feeling of it's a carnival ride.
It's the end of ET.
It's a ghost train.
It's the Monster Squad.
It's a haunted house.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that we're celebrating the fact that we can enjoy being scared.
Yeah.
And not so much reveling in some of the more darker aspects of human nature.
Yeah. And
totally
agree.
And I know that is some
totally
people's
agree.
bag.
I think that what you've just said is what most people would like Halloween to be. Yeah. I don't think anyone goes out to watch a horror movie on October 31st wanting to be really disturbed.
Let's say, for instance, like something like the original Texas Chainsaw. People might watch that on Halloween, and that's a certain kind of person.
Sure.
And that's probably not me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's maybe a little bit too... That's like a depressing realism that I don't think I want my Halloween to be.
Yeah, fair deal.
Even the original Halloween, to an extent, is probably a little bit too.
Not up for the slashers.
No, I can watch a good slasher. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's the if you're going to expose a truth about humanity that I think is pretty dark.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not what I want my Halloween to be about. I'll probably approach that in February or March at some point. When it's not attached to a holiday that celebrates ghouls and goblins and
lollies and
lollies
and
exactly,
fake
and telling creepy ghost stories over campfires. You know what I mean? It's a different kind of energy for me. But each to their own, man. So if I'm not gonna begrudge anybody who says that they do like that film. Wouldn't dare.
I would love to hear. I would love to hear what people think about.
Yeah, me too. Actually,
Human Centipede as a whole. Yeah, because I know you have to watch
the planned trilogy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go. That was good conversation. It was. That was really good.
It's a deep, dark conversation that requires more than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
What do you got one day we might get around to
Make it lighter for us, buddy.
Well, I'm going to pick a vampire film from probably about 10 years ago now that I feel like is a little underrated. Ooh. And it doesn't get as much love as I give it because I actually think it's one of my favourite vampire films from the last decade or so, and that is 30 Days of Night, which has just popped up on Stan.
It's always been on my list.
It's this is a film from the director of Hard Candy, David Slade.
One of my wife's favourite films.
Was it Hard Candy? Now I'm fucking second guessing myself.
I think it was.
And he also,
yes, it was,
based on the strength of those two films, got to direct the third Twilight film, which is not saying much, but it's the only watchable one of the series.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a lie. The second one is watchable. Anyway.
Full disclosure, my friend Tyson has seen them all.
I've seen them all. 30 Days of Night, Josh Hartnett, yes, Melissa George, And one of the first kind of performances for me of Danny Houston.
I've got a lot of love for Danny Houston.
He was fucking terrifying in this film. And the premise itself, it's based on a comic book. It's based on a graphic novel.
Yeah.
The premise is amazing. There is a town in Alaska.
Right.
That because of the point of the globe that it is on, based on the rotation of the globe, every so often, I don't think it's a yearly
daytime
occurrence, but every so often they reach a period of time where for 30 days straight there is no sun, just because of the axis that they're on
the world.
Yeah. And the fact that someone heard that news and went, I'm going to write a vampire story about that, just shows how creative some people can be, because that would never be my first instinct. But it should be my first instinct, really. It should be everybody's first instinct. What a great instinct to have.
Insane? Literally, all the vampires should flock there forever and just feed.
And this is essentially what this story is saying: is that there is a harbinger of doom in this, played by Ben Foster. One of the early Ben Foster performances that maybe went, this guy is fucking great.
I love Ben Foster.
Who lets them know that this is where you want to go. You can basically feed for 30 days straight, and it's like a fucking buffet. Let's do it.
Are there a lot of people in this part of Alaska though?
No, there's a smallish population.
Right.
But,
sharing, everyone. Sharing.
For 10 vampires, it's probably enough to last a substantial amount of time. I think there's probably about 8 to 10 vampires.
Okay.
I like that the vampires in this are very brutal. They have their own language, which I really like. It's kind of based on like clicks and kind of noises, and it's really
scary.
intimidating.
Fucked.
It's really great. The direction is it's one of those movies where it came out around a time, 2007. It came out around a time when vampires were getting defanged a little bit.
Oh, yep.
Where we had the overly romanticized Anne Rice vampire, and we had the kind of we were at the end of the Buffy kind of era where you had they were almost like a joke.
Pretty.
They had like a comic relief element, and we also had Twilight kind of becoming the biggest thing in the world, where they sparkled in the sun.
Glittered.
So this is a kind of film that really came in and said, no, vampires are fucking brutal, and it really brought that back.
Nice, I like it.
I really dig this film a lot. It's like a survival horror film, because this population of however many are left from the initial massacre, which is a brilliant 10 minutes of filmmaking.
Nice.
Have to find ways to survive the 30 days. And it's a really kind of, it turns into more than just a kind of your typical vampire film. It's about how are they going to go about this? Where do they hide? How do they survive? How do they get food? How do they find shelter?
And UV bed.
Well, and the things that they come up with are really kind of inventive.
Yeah.
And it's got one of, I think, one of the best finales to a vampire film in a really long time.
Now I need to watch it.
Yeah, it's got it's a really... it's one of those finales that's incredibly bittersweet, but also very kind of like you cheer for the characters in this. I loved it, and I've always championed this film. I bought it on DVD. This special edition kind of box with like comic book and all this kind of stuff as soon as it came out, because I loved it.
Yep.
I've seen it like at least 5 or 6 times, and it's also one of the first movies I show to people when they say, hey, what's a really good vampire movie that I might not have seen?
Oh, really?
First one I suggest is always 30 Days of Night.
Night.
So I reckon get on it. It's on Stan.
Get on
It's
it,
a great way to spend a night during October. Anyway, that's going to wrap us up.
Dude.
Fucking hell. That was an
long.
epic chat.
That was
yeah. Well, we have to get through like one good movie and one shit movie, so we had a lot to talk about.
We did.
And lots of trailers. Anyway, next week is our last episode of our last October SPOOK-ISODE.
It's going to be our last,
Yeah, it's really disappointing.
That's all right.
I've had a really good time.
I've had a rad
doing
time.
all this stuff.
Yeah, I know.
And it's going to be really weird talking about a non-horror movie the week after when we go back and talk about some romantic comedy or some shit.
Yeah.
From the 90s, of course. We're hitting the 90s hard because that's what we've been missing.
We can't.
But we thought for our last, we've been a bit old school. We've noticed we've gone pretty old school. We're okay with that. We know what we've done.
And we haven't gone really scary, have we? There's nothing really...
Also, well, I mean, we went in with the intention of being scary.
Yeah,
but
we really did.
We've kind of avoided that because I wouldn't say anything that we've watched so far was effectively scary.
No.
And so we thought we'd mix it straight up. So we're going to go for one of the biggest box office horrors of last year for our last episode of October. Mm-hmm. We're going to be looking at 2016's Don't Breathe. Oh! Now, this movie has an incredible reputation. It was a bit of a box office smash out of nowhere. Fede Alvarez, who directed the Evil Dead remake.
He did.
And is now potentially doing I believe a Marvel or a X-Men or something. He's on to bigger and better things now.
Oh, God.
Because of the strength of these couple of movies,
Yeah.
is now Hollywood has come calling for
Jumping
Fede
on
Alvarez.
him.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, we're going to look at Don't Breathe next week, and that's going to be our last Halloween spook-isode.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Bring it on.
Bring it on, indeed. I'm going to shit my pants.
Okay. Full disclosure, have you seen this, Tyson?
No, of course not.
Oh, shit.
I can't wait. It's going to be
Oh,
great.
my God. I can't wait. Tyson, can you do me a favor? Can you at least watch this at dusk? It doesn't have to be nighttime, Tyson. Just dusk.
No, it's going to be like 8 a.m. We've already talked about
we've already
this.
talked about this.
I have to watch it really early in the
Damn
morning.
it. Okay.
I'm moving house this weekend. It's really going to be tough.
Oh, we got it time.
Yeah.
All right. Till next week, Tyson.
Till next week, indeed. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'll see you then.
See you, man.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.